celestial transits, these rotational planets. Around these parts we got high standards, seeking the truth, wisdom at once. We're coming from the stars above. This is Moonday Tarot, the one and only Kelly Volcana. I hope you're ready for some giggles, and of course, we hope you got some wiggles. Strap in and get ready for some cosmic wisdom of ancestral understandings. Moonday Tarot. Bitch, it's Moonday.
Bitch, it's Moonday. Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Monday. Happy Moonday. Oh, Kat, that's sweet. That's sweet. I appreciate that. It's not really that new. I have had that as a backing starting track for a little while. That's where the bitch it's Moonday came from. Shout out to homie Romy. I love you, dude. Yes, welcome Nathan. Welcome everybody new. Let me pull this out for a second. Okay, hey, check. Sound working? Thumbs up if we got a good sound. I'm just gonna actually check over here real quick. Am I hearing myself? Hit and play. Uh-oh, not hearing myself. Audio should be. Wait, shit. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Sounds good. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, what's up? Happy Monday. My name is Kaylee. If you have never been here before, welcome. Recently had a nice influx of subscribers because of the interview that I did with Juan. Appreciate you, Juan. Love you, brother. Welcome, everybody. So my name's Kaylee. Welcome to my Moonday Tarot show. This is a long form type of astrology and tarot show. So what I do is I'll break down the astrology for the week, talk about any kind of major transits that are happening. If there's any big highlights or sign changes going on, I'll talk about that. And then I'll break down what one of those transits means for your sign specifically. I'm a Western tropical astrologer. Of course, I'll be pulling tarot cards as well. It is Moonday Tarot after all. So I'll be pulling tarot cards for each of the signs as well. And at the end, if you would like a personal reading, instructions are in the box, in the description box. Let me actually just change the banner there. There we go. So instructions are on the banner and also in the description box if you want me to pull a personal card for you. Couple of things, couple of house cleaning items, I guess. House cleaning? I don't know. I don't think that's what it's called, but whatever. That's what I'm calling it today. Next Monday, I'm changing what time I stream at. So next Monday, I will be streaming at noon Mountain Time rather than 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Making some adjustments with my schedule. It is time. And unfortunately, I know that means for some of you, you won't be able to join me live. And that's unfortunate. But you'll always be able to catch the replay as long as I've got my YouTube channel anyway. By the way, this is also streaming to housekeeping. Yeah, thank you. House cleaning. I don't know. I was cleaning today, so got it on the mind. Anyway, this is also streaming to Odyssey. And it's not currently streaming to Rumble. However, it will be uploaded to Rumble automatically within a couple of days, I believe. So if you can't join me live next Monday because it's too early or too late for you, Noon Moon Tarot word, Stacey, you can catch the replay. But yes, so anyway, couple other things I gotta say. My website is live, KayleeBurkana.com if you want to, YouTube be tripping all the time. But anyway, KayleeBurkana.com if you would like a private natal chart reading. If you want to talk about a specific transit that's coming up, I can always do that. Like if you're worried about eclipse season. And actually, speaking of, for eclipse season, I'm running a special for natal charts. You can go to my website and enter the code eclipse 20. I'll be doing 20% off for natal chart readings, specifically focusing on your chart, but also how the upcoming eclipse season is going to affect your chart, if it will or not. What's up, Edward? Hey, Runes, how's it going? I love you guys. That code is not live yet, but after I'm done here, it will be live. So just wait until the end of the stream if you want to book. Again, the code will be eclipse 20. So what do we got going on this week? Well, full moon in Libra. It's coming up really quick here. Definitely going to be talking about that. That will be in a couple of days here. Honestly, that's probably the highlight of the week. There's some interesting kind of some interesting stuff going on today, actually. Let me just bring up the chart. Alrighty, so earlier today, Mercury ingressed into tropical Taurus. Let me just pull this up for you. There's the glyph for Mercury at 0 degrees Taurus. Boom. And as soon as she, whatever Mercury is, it moved into Taurus, it squared Pluto. Why does this matter? I know I don't talk about the Pluto transits and aspects very often. However, we just had Pluto change signs. So Pluto moving through Aquarius is going to be a 20-year transit. And honestly, the energy of Pluto is fairly subtle, unless it's activating something really personal in your own chart. However, we can glean some information about what Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring to us based on what's currently happening with the themes of Aquarius being technology, and networks and stuff like that. So like central bank digital currency, the class divide, and those particular themes exasperating and getting more and more polarized is definitely something that we're going to see with Pluto and Aquarius. But anyway, we can look back at history and see some themes that occurred the last time Pluto moved through Aquarius. Aquarius is, of course, rebellion. And Pluto, whatever Pluto's doing, is always asking you to choose the path that will enable you to become empowered. So anytime you have some major Pluto transits going on in your chart or aspecting your chart, essentially you're put into situations where you might feel powerless. But the idea is not that you are just, all control is being taken away from you. The idea is that you're supposed to pull your socks up and get to work and respond to those situations, right? Respond to those situations. That's where our free will comes in, ultimately, is how we respond to the things that are happening to us. They can happen to us or we can work with those events. So anyway, as Mercury moved into Taurus, so first of all, Mercury in Taurus, Mercury on a basic mundane level is how we think, how we talk and communicate, how we measure things, skills that require measurement or fine motor skills. It's very mercurial in nature. It has a lot to do with how we think, but specifically our linear thought and our creative thought. Mercury has a hand in both. But as he's moving into Taurus, a lot of that mental power, those mental powers, will be focused on, our worth, our value, on beauty, on what is natural or not natural. And then, of course, with it squaring Pluto, I actually heard from one of my lady friends today that already she's had really crazy tech glitches going on all day. I don't know 100%. I'm not sure 100% if that is Mercury squaring Pluto or if that's Mercury approaching the place. There will be a Mercury retrograde later. So he's entering shadow right now as well. I'm not 100% convinced that the shadow period for Mercury retrograde is a legit thing. However, just hearing that from a couple of different people that they've experienced some interesting tech glitches is fascinating to me. It's fascinating to me because I'm at this point specifically with this shadow period where I'm investigating it. So having people report that kind of stuff helps me to like gather the data to see, okay, is this actually a legit thing or not? However, we do have this Mercury square Pluto thing going on. So it could be the shadow period, or it could be Mercury square Pluto, or it could just be, you know, something happening specifically in their chart, right? So there's a few different factors, a few different variables. Regardless, Mercury square Pluto, there's likely to be some kind of communication thing going on today, or you may have already experienced this, where there could be some like power and control things coming out in conversation, basically. Now, Mercury in Taurus as well. This makes me think of the financial sector as well. Okay, so Taurus itself isn't necessarily money. All right, it's a very modern idea of Taurus. Taurus isn't necessarily money. It's more comforts and quality goods. So yes, you can associate quality goods with money, but not. It's not exactly that. But anyway, since Mercury is measuring things and Taurus is quality things, and we need money to purchase quality things or to purchase the supplies to gain those quality things, this can definitely be related to some interesting market stuff. Now, just a square aspect by itself isn't going to necessarily cause major shakeups, but it could. So definitely something to watch out for. I mean, obviously markets are closed now, but tomorrow, definitely keep your eyes open. It's nothing to panic about. And again, I just have to bring it back to anytime you're dealing with anything with Pluto, at the end of the day, it's about how are you going to respond to that thing and how are you going to empower yourself. So most of you here are very well aware that, you know, things are not going great for our finances with the entire Western world, right? Europe, North America, it's not looking pretty. So to follow that, most of you, if not all of you, I'm sure have been, you know, learning as much as you can and, you know, making adjustments in your life. And how I actually am thinking about this aspect right now is, you know, what kind of things do you place a heavy value on, or what kind of physical goods do you have that are worth something that aren't necessarily tied to the current digital fiat system, or can be separated from that. Something that we saw definitely pop up with Saturn moving through Aquarius is alternate markets, alternate groups, alternate communities. What's the word I'm looking for? Or the phrase, hold on. It's like parallel. There we go. Parallel economies. So I really think that we're going to see more and more of the parallel economy type stuff as Pluto's moving through Aquarius. So this Mercury aspect, this square, is kind of a nice check, really. Like, hey, how are you doing with that? Are you thinking about Mercury, right? Are you thinking about what kind of values you can bring to the table? What kind of skills you have? Maybe that's also a kind of a Mercury thing. What kind of skills you have that are quote unquote marketable, that can operate in a parallel economy. So I'll give you a great example. Actually, this is actually literally perfect. I was asked today by somebody that very much believes in the idea of parallel economies and like gray market stuff, to do a custom leather sheath. So leather, very Taurus. It's a skill that I have, and it's definitely 100% marketable in an alternative, in an alternate market scenario. So anyway, definitely be thinking about this. If it didn't come up today, I'm saying it to you now so you can think about it. Think about it some more. All right, going back to the comments. What's up? Nice. Yeah, growing food is an incredibly powerful skill. That's fun. What's up, Chaos? Yeah, what's up? What's up, Runes? Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, Pluto is powerful. Honestly, I really resist and dislike this idea that we have where a planet, a sign, an aspect is all good or all bad. I don't think that it is. I think that there is good and bad. However, I think that especially with astrology, bad things happen. They do. They just do. Evil exists. It just fucking does. Um, but how we look at things and how we choose to respond to things is really the difference, right? So thanks, Chaos. Hello, Liam. So anyway, when it comes to a really intense Pluto transit, for example, I have Moon in Capricorn, and I just had Pluto doing this little like crypt walk over top of my Moon for the last few years. I didn't die, obviously. I'm still here, but it did inspire some events or perhaps help to activate certain events that really helped me to dig deep psychologically, especially around themes of moon, which is mother, self-nurturing, how we feel about ourselves. So anyway, Pluto's really powerful, and there's definitely some positive things that can come from any kind of any freaking transit. Okay, so just putting that out there. Anyway, back to the chart. Yeah, I love Juan. Shout out to Juan. I love you, dude. Alrighty, so I'm just going to set this to Libra so that it's a little bit easier for you guys to follow. So I like to do this thing where when we're in not I'm okay. I meant Aries. Sorry, Aries. I like to do this thing where the sun is, that sign gets to be the rising sign while I'm talking. And I do this for two reasons. One, it helps me keep track a little bit better. Two, it helps you guys follow along a little bit better. And actually, there's a secret third reason that I don't think I've mentioned before, but I've, I've definitely ranted about it. So there's this idea with modern astrology that the first house is Aries. This has not always been the case. The first house is not Aries. On a mundane level, yes, you can talk about it that way, but not everybody was born with Aries rising. In fact, only 1 out of 12 people were born with Aries rising. Most people have a different rising sign. So as the seasons progress and as we move through the seasons, so when it turns to Taurus season, I'll turn it like this. So Taurus is rising. So you guys can start wrapping your mind around the idea that the first house is not Aries. The first house is your first house, and houses and signs are different. So anyway, I'm going to put that back to Aries. Alrighty, so new moon. Let's move it forward to the moon. Or full moon, sorry. Full moon. It's on the 5th. Full moon, Libra. Just want to move it forward. Close enough. All right. That's honestly really normal, Liam. So he says, missed first bit of this. I want to look at my own chart, but it's just lines and signs to me. That's that's completely understandable. It can look like just a bunch of gibberish when you're just learning how to look at this and how to read it. So my biggest suggestion when you're learning how to read your chart for the first time and you have no idea what you're looking at is to start with what your rising sign is, where your sun sign is, and where your moon sign is. So the moon, for example, is this little crescent shape here. So this is a Libra full moon chart, right? This is upcoming on the 5th. Start with those 3 and just work from there. Honestly, learn those 3 first and go from there. And that will be the probably the simplest way to start. And it's a nice introduction. And then you can start learning aspects and what the other planets are, but start with the sun, moon, and your rising sign. Okay. So anyway, Libra full moon. So what is Libra? What is Libra? What is Aries? So Aries season, right? For the entirety of Aries season, while sun is moving through Aries, this is really all about launching things, getting things started, taking the lead on something, constructing something, being a pioneer in something, especially while sun is in Aries. Aries is the sun's favorite place to be. It loves it. It's very much about individuality, right? That is what Aries really is about. It's about individuality, individuation, right? If Pisces is the all, the everything, etc., the collective, right? Aries is individuating away from that. So sun moving through Aries is really putting a spotlight on those topics of becoming your own man, your own woman. What is your identity? Who are you? What do you stand for, right? Libra, the full moon in Libra, we have to talk about both sides of this, right? Because the full moon, we have the sun on one side and the moon on the other. So Libra, just the archetype of Libra is about balance and beauty and partnership and one-on-one stuff, but heavy on the balance and the harmony. Those are very important keys to Libra. So when the moon is in Libra, especially as it's reflecting all of the sunlight from the sun, this is really about feeling into how you are or how you present or how you act as a partner. Are things equal? Are things unbalanced in any way? These are important questions. And when things are unbalanced, they will be highlighted. So anyway, how this will affect you individually will change based on what your rising sign is. So for those of you that are new, that have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, if that was gibberish, I apologize. Feel free to ask questions, by the way. I'll answer them when I can. To the best of my ability. So anyway, to find your rising sign, you need to know what time you were born. If you don't know what time you're born, it's okay to use your sun as your first house. That's okay. You can do that. Some astrologers will put you just as a noon chart. So sun is up at the top of the chart, up here. But anyway, I would use sun or moon as your first house, and then listen to that sign. Okay, moving on. So next thing that we look at, we got the sun, we got the moon. Okay, cool. It's all about self versus the other, and like how do we balance this interesting dance out? Because I personally, relationships and selfhood to me is a dance where this is probably mostly just my chart, my personal experiences talking. But when I get into a relationship, it's really easy to not be sucked into, but to want to be everything for that other person. However, it's just as important to be your own individual. And really, at the end of the day, if you're not a strong individual, if you're not a whole self, Aries, then a relationship will not be successful, because nobody can really be everything for another person. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it's not healthy, and it's rather codependent, actually. So anytime we have a full moon on this axis, it really highlights these things, right? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you still doing your own thing? And is it in harmony with the other person? Or, do some adjustments need to be made? Yeah, you're welcome. I'm all about that. I think, honestly, I almost learn it better and can speak about it better when I'm trying to teach it. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, there's the full moon. So next thing we look at, okay, so what planet rules Libra? Well, that would be Venus. Venus rules both Libra and Taurus, and Venus is here, this lovely little glyph. Venus is at home in Taurus. So we can see from this full moon that Venus is in a really good position, right? She's at home in her own sign. So that what it does, what that means for us is that it helps the full moon. So whatever things, whatever balancing act, literally whatever balancing act is coming up for you for the full moon, Venus will be in a position to help you, to soften it a little bit. So that's really nice. Okay, questions about the full moon. What's up, Shannon? I like that idea. I like that idea. So Shannon says, just my artsy mind. Wish I knew enough to create a 3D model of this chart, like an orrery for sky, signs, and houses. Well, that's basically what an armillary sphere is. Basically. You would have to add in the planets. I'll just pull up an image real quick. A lot of the ones that you find are a little bit incorrect, though. They have the zodiac backwards. It should always be Cancer up top and Capricorn on the bottom, and they usually have it flipped around. So that's weird that it's fucking wrong. But anyway, so you could take something like this and then like create the planets and put them relative to the center of wherever you're measuring from around the sphere. Anyway, yeah, that could be fun. Okay, anyway, moving on. So anyway, full moon will be Wednesday, April 5th for North America, anyway, in the evening. Moving forward a day. So that's Wednesday. Next big thing that we have happening this week is the Jupiter Cazimi, which I didn't put in the description box. I should have, but that's okay. I believe it's right on Sunday. If not Sunday, then Monday, so I should definitely talk about it. Yeah, okay, it's actually Monday. That's fine. I'll talk about it now so that you guys can prepare for it. Essentially, what that word Cazimi is, it basically just means in the heart of the sun. So every time a planet connects with the sun, it begins a new cycle for that planet in relationship to the sun. You can think of it like a new moon. In ancient astrology, in Hellenistic astrology, they considered as soon as a star or a planet, and the planets were called wandering stars, as soon as a planet or a star came close enough to the sun that it was no longer visible in the night sky, it was said to go into the underworld. So essentially, Jupiter right now, we can't see Jupiter anymore in the sky. most places on Earth anyway. Can't see Jupiter anymore. And definitely will not be able to see Jupiter for the rest of this week because Jupiter's in the underworld. So previous to this, before the sun caught up to Jupiter, it was said that that planet was going through a kind of like a death process in order to be reborn. And it is being reborn or forged anew in the heart of the sun. So anyway, the Jupiter Cazimi, let me just move it forward to the exact day. So now, as the planet is going through their underworld process, where they're being forged anew, literally by the sun, or figuratively, I guess, sorry, figuratively by the sun, on the day that the sun is exactly conjunct that planet, it is said that it's like the messages and the themes and the gifts of that planet are amplified and sent through the sun to us. So in this case, we're talking about Jupiter. Now, Jupiter, especially in Aries, Jupiter represents things like philosophy and healing and medicine and actually law, judges, and higher up respected, quote unquote, respected figures that represent like higher stations in society that have some kind of authority, especially religious leaders. But like I said, law falls under that category, as well as like the general of the army. Now, soldiers is Mars, but the general, the one that plans everything, is actually Jupiter. So anyway, on that day, on Monday, expect that theme of Jupiter to be very loud in some area of your life. You might actually see something in the news specifically. And now I've been talking about Jupiter in Aries as the ability for people to fight back and win cases specifically about bodily autonomy, right? If Aries is this is me, and I'm individuated, then Jupiter moving through Aries has been helping us to amplify and become confident in that. If you weren't confident before, it's kind of like pushing you to do it now. Like, yes, this is me. This is my space. I am autonomous. Thank you very much. And I have been seeing the evidence of that, actually, of people beginning to push back and win. So on this day, I would not be surprised at all to see some kind of major court victory, as just one example of how that energy could play out. Now, again, this is going to change individually based on what your rising sign is. I can only really speak right now, generally about like how it might play out globally. What's up, Gabe? Hey, G. Yeah, I love our Miller spheres. They're really cool. Okay. So yeah, that's those are the two like biggest things that I really wanted to talk about. Was the full moon, the upcoming Jupiter Cazimi, and then that one aspect of Mercury to Pluto. Now, while Mercury is continuing his adventure through Taurus, keep in mind that the Mercury retrograde is coming up. So there are themes that you're going to see play out this week that you'll probably revisit as Mercury turns retrograde and goes back through these same degrees of the zodiac. So I'm just moving back a little bit. So this year, every year, Mercury has a specific element that it's like he focuses on that element for the retrogrades. So the last retrograde was Mercury in Capricorn. This is the next retrograde, and then the next one after that will be Virgo. So essentially, we're focusing on the Earth element as far as Mercury is concerned this year. So with the Earth element, we are talking about, the practical 3D side of life. Are you able to financially take care of yourself? Do you have housing? Like literally the 3D life. How are you taking care of, or are you taking care of, or and how are you taking care of your body? Are you embodied, right? Are you disconnected from your body? Are you up in your head all of the time in la la land? Or, are you actually connected? Do you actually feel your body, or are you disassociated? Um, we're also talking about money, finances, obviously. And as you guys are very well aware, especially you guys here watching now live, but I'm sure some of the people that'll be coming and watching the recording are very well aware that there's some interesting stuff going on with markets and finances right now, like I mentioned earlier, and a Mercury retrograde through an Earth sign, especially considering Mercury is going to be playing, I guess we could say, with Uranus. It's interesting stuff. It's interesting and unexpected stuff. Okay. Going back to the comments. Oh yeah. So the Sun Jupiter thing, or the Sun Jupiter thing is on this Monday, next Monday. So in 1 week. Oh, Jupiter is badass. It's okay, JLo. What's up? you made it. Sounds kinky. Yeah, Stacy, Taurus is a very sensual sign and is often linked to the pleasure of sex. So yes, definitely can be super kinky. Yep, that's a thing. What else do I want to say about that? So Mercury's not turning retrograde until it's not happening this week, so it's not something that we need to worry about right now. I'm just going to move this back to the full moon, and then I'm going to start pulling for the signs. Okay. Oh, that's sweet. Mercury is said to be exalted in Virgo. It's a badass placement. Yes, ma'am. I am talking about Taurus. We're going to have a Mercury retrograde soon coming up in Taurus. All right. One other thing. Next week, Venus will be ingressing into Gemini. This is going to be freaking awesome. Personally, I'm excited about that. And we'll talk about that later. Yeah, I've summed it up. Better find a man. Oh my god, JLo. No. Don't do that. I know you came in late, so you missed my Libra rant, but no. There are many sensual pleasures that can be enjoyed alone. Okay, you don't need a man for that. All right, shit. Alrighty. Okay. All right. So I am now going to go through each sign, talk about how the full moon is going to affect you. Next week, I'll talk about the Jupiter Sun Cazimi, unless you guys really want me to talk about the Jupiter thing. It's settled then. Yep, that's a disaster. That is a disaster waiting to happen. So, okay, here's the thing. We're about to have this full moon in Libra, which, yes, partnership, all that lovely stuff. And there definitely can be some beautiful things that play out here. One thing I didn't mention, I'm just going to bring it up. One thing I didn't mention when talking about the full moon is that the sun's going to be right on top of Chiron. So I don't talk about Chiron very often, but this is significant. It will play a role in this full moon. So I guess I should talk about it. Sorry. So Chiron is considered the wounded healer. So wherever Chiron is transiting, we're healing that area of our chart. We're healing that archetype. So yeah, Chiron and Aries has been some really interesting stuff. Again, we've had opportunities, and we've had an invitation to claim ownership over ourselves while Chiron has been in Aries. Masculinity is a huge archetype associated with Aries. It's the freaking warrior. Okay, it's very much a masculine sign. Both in polarity, yes, it is a masculine sign by polarity, but just the archetype itself. And yes, you can have warrior women. That's not what I'm talking about right now. Masculinity. We have had some really interesting pendulum swings occurring with how people respond to and think about masculinity in general. We've seen definitely both ends of the spectrum come up for sure. So in addition to that, because Aries is all about individuality and all that lovely stuff, this full moon is really going to bring that into question. So if you're just jumping into relationships because like, oh, Libra full moon, let's partner up. Yes, that's lovely. That's fine. There will be stuff coming up around how you individually are and whether you need space and whether you need time or whether you need to do your own thing, essentially, which is what Aries is. And healing the part of you that maybe feels afraid to ask for that or is hesitant to ask for that. So I caution. I know you guys are joking. But I caution against just jumping into something for the sake of just jumping into it, just because you don't want to be alone or just because you want to, experience life partnered up. I caution against that unless you actually have already, done a lot of work to heal the self. Okay. And I mean, do what you want, but should you jump into something, there likely will be a part of you that is going to push back against that. And, I just do whatever. Yeah, fair enough. You do whatever. You do what you want. I do what I want. Fair enough. Okay. So anyway, be good to yourself is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Be good to yourself. Alrighty. So for those that are new, I do this in a little bit of a weird way. I like to start at Pisces and go backwards as I'm going through each of the signs. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk about this full moon in Libra and the Aries Libra axis in your chart based on your rising sign. Again, if you don't know what your rising sign is, you can listen for your sun sign. That's okay. If you know your moon sign, even better, listen to that. But ideally, if you know your rising sign, that is the primary one that I encourage you to listen to, especially for the astrology. Okay, so Pisces. So as you guys can see on the screen here, for those of you that are new, this is a Pisces rising chart. So full moon is happening in your 8th house, Pisces. Fun. So second 8th house axis is being lit up. So for you guys, Libra represents the unknown, the dark, scary things, interestingly enough. That's kind of funny to think about, actually. So in order to do the Pisces map, in order to wow, that's really weird to think about. In order to do the Pisces map, I'm thinking out loud here with you guys for a sec, okay? In order to embody compassion and empathy and spirituality, it's having balance and good boundaries in relationship can feel like death. Isn't that interesting? However, diving into this archetype, working with this archetype can lead to a powerful transformation and a rebirth. That's the 8th house, death and rebirth. So that'll be interesting for you guys. The eighth house can be tied to your partner's stuff as well. So, what do I mean by that? I mean like your partner's finances, right? Your partner's partner's finances, your partner's values and valuables, and the things that you share with them. So there's a really deep and potentially difficult way that this full moon can play out, or a really mundane, kind of boring way that this can play out. That's usually how it goes, especially with the eighth house. It's often unexpected stuff, right? That's really what the eighth house is you don't see it coming when it happens, and then it happens, but it inspires a transformation. So anyway, Pisces, this full moon, be paying attention to, what are your values, and are you able to stick to your values? And also, what are the other person's values? And if there is some harmony there, great, move forward. If there need to be adjustments because maybe you're getting away from your own values, going too much into theirs, or if if there's imbalance here between what's yours and what's mine, then definitely pay attention to that. Make adjustments. I think that's my favorite word for Libra. Make adjustments where necessary, right? You guys are cute. So anyway. I didn't shuffle. Hold on a sec. I don't know, Gabe. You hunt him down, though. You let me know. Pisces. Speaking of major changes and stuff, how are you doing with Saturn now in your sign? So as you guys might be aware, March 7th, Saturn ingressed into tropical Pisces. So I'm curious to check in with you guys. How are you doing? Specifically, what can we expect for this full moon? Whoa. Okay, like half the deck just came out. It's a little much. Settle down. Just like, 3 cards would be great, please. Oh, there we go. So the 2nd and the 8th house are often tied with sensuality, since they both deal with the body in one way or another. The 8th house, I'm saying this because of the cards that we pulled for you so far, by the way, Pisces, but anyway, the 8th house. So when we're talking about sex, okay, the 5th house is pleasure, joy, fun. The 8th house is sex to bond. It's intimate. It's much more intimate than the 5th house. It's about sharing your soul's freaking karma. Like the little death. And the first card that you got out was the King of Wands. So you're feeling this energy, definitely. You're definitely feeling this energy. And Sun in the 2nd house could definitely help inspire this a little bit too. This confidence, this sense of leadership. This, I do actually know my value. Hey, that's actually my legitimate little sister. What's up, Joe? What's up, buddy? Hey, see you Saturday. Anyway, so all this stuff going on in your second house with Jupiter being there, with the sun being there right now, it's definitely helping to inspire the sense of confidence, right? When we're talking about Aries for you, Pisces, it's your second house of values and valuables. So you've been feeling this like, hey, I actually need to take care of myself. And you know what? Yeah, I actually deserve that. Thank you very much. The other two cards that we got going on, we got the Page of Pentacles, implying that there's something new coming about, something new coming up for you, specifically to do with finances. So whether this is, well, hold on. Before I interpret that, let me talk about this third card that came out as well. Okay, so we got, I said Page, but that's actually the Knight. My apologies. The Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. So you've been working on your own sense of self-worth, your own value. That's fantastic. Great place to start. And actually, it's not just a great place to start. It's clearly coming off really well. If you don't see yourself like this, like king shit of the fucking mountain, other people do. Okay, so that's really great. Embrace that. The King of Wands is a very passionate figure. Fire can be just as artistic as water, just in a different way. So anyway, and then we got this Knight of Pentacles. Now this is about really needing to perfect and stabilize and ensure that what you have got going financially, physically, whatever, is stable before you work on expansion. And why? Well, the Seven of Pentacles also came out. This speaks about something unexpected going down. Now, the Seven of Pentacles is encouraging you to think about the long-term game plan that you've got, right? What are your investments right now? Like maybe not literally in banks, but what are your investments right now that you are working towards? Like what kind of insurances do you have for the long term? We can't just be thinking in short term. We have to be thinking in long term. Thinking in terms of the long game, I guess. So anyway, Seven of Pentacles, this is really important, right? So this full moon may bring you some kind of challenges. There might be something that goes down either with your finances or with your partner's finances that really makes you take a hard look at, okay, what are we actually doing to prepare for, that month coming up that we know is coming, because it always comes, where we suddenly don't have enough, or like inflation. Like for example, in Canada, April 1st, we got a new carbon tax. So all of a sudden gas went up 20 cents a liter, which would be in gallons, freaking 80 cents a 80 cents a freaking gallon. Yo, not cool. So just a very real world example, definitely relevant. How are you going to plan for when things like that occur that you have no control over? That's really what's going on with your cards here. And just remember, yeah, I know. I know it bites, dude. I was going to fill up before the first and then I forgot. And I was like, fuck. Okay, so anyway, Pisces, you are shining very brightly right now as this King of Wands figure. So take that energy, that excess energy that you've got, and channel it, right? Channel it into your game plan. Okay. Yeah, channel it into your game plan. And wow, underneath the deck for you, Pisces, you have the Emperor. Frigging badass. You're going through a process of maturation, right? We know this from the astrology as well, with Saturn moving through your sign. So it's time for you to take a leadership role, right? Take a leadership role and make a game plan before you're forced to make a game plan. Okay. Wow, we're almost at an hour in. Oops, lost my comments. Oh no. I know. Maybe one day. It's so crazy. Like when my family came to North America, we landed in the States. Actually, I had family in Philadelphia for the Civil War, so that's kind of interesting. And then we moved up here. And to think that I might end up going back down south, that's just wild to me. But anyway, hold on one sec. I gotta mute my mic for a minute. Okay, that's better. I needed to sit up more straight. Okay. Aquarius. Yeehaw! Yep. Aqua. Sorry, y'all. Alrighty. So Aquarius. Alrighty, so Aqua. How are you guys doing? Have you noticed anything with Pluto now in your sign? I have been telling people as they've come to me for readings. I mean, okay, I have some direct experience of what it's like to have Pluto cross into your first house. Personally, I didn't notice it in a very real way until it was almost exactly right on top of my planets. So what I would say to you if you are an Aquarius, I'm really curious about what your experience has been like. But also, it's not something to panic over. Like I was saying at the beginning, Pluto brings about or helps to inspire and initiate events that encourage you to take your power back, right? To feel self-empowered and to not remain in the role of a victim, right? And the only way for a victim to stop being a victim is to rescue themselves. You cannot be rescued by somebody outside of you. You have to do it yourself. So moving through your first house is going to teach you that. It's a long ass lesson of 20 years, okay, that this is going to take for Pluto to move through here. But we're getting the first sneak peek of this transit until June, when Pluto will actually move back into Capricorn until partway through the next year. So hang on to your hats, but also don't panic. Good. Remain calm. This too shall pass. 100%, dude. Yeah, good. Awesome. And yeah, like I said, it's until Pluto gets right on top of your moon, it's you probably aren't even gonna notice it. Okay, what's up, Andy? Okay, so anyway, for you guys, Aquarius, this full moon is occurring in your 9th house. So Libra is the 9th sign of Aquarius. So for you guys, this 3rd and 9th house axis, the 9th house is about our spiritual beliefs. It is about the temple or the university that we study in. So for Aquarius rising specifically, this will be really highlighting something that you are trying to learn at this time. Oftentimes, the 9th house can be talking about literally second education or secondary education, like literally universities or like online courses nowadays. Online courses or online classes. So those could be either coming to a close or you're beginning a new phase in those. The 9th house can be talking about a change in like status. 10th house is how we're perceived by the public, but 9th house can be talking about a change in status as well. Or you could actually be really, honestly, just really thinking about a trip that you want to take right now. 9th house can be foreign travel as well. If none of those apply, perhaps you are looking at publishing something. Libra full moon is a freaking great time to publish something if you're an Aquarius rising, definitely, as it's like this house is being highlighted and reflected. So really cool. Now, when it comes to the rest of the stuff going on in Aries right now, this balancing act is between like what's going on in your local neighborhood and what are you learning and how do you listen? Like, do you have trouble listening to other people? And you know, there's definitely going to be themes in there between like learning to stop and listen to others, um, remembering that no, even if you are the teacher, you're still a student, right? Teacher student, that's definitely this axis for sure. Especially when you're the teacher, you're definitely still a student. And as a student, you can teach something too. So, how are you doing with those themes? What's up, Mercury? Word, exactly. Or the more potent, right, Joe? Joe will tell you all about it. Nice. Yeah, I love looking at Pluto as what's composting. And I was learning about compost tea and also fucking it up last summer. Good times. Okay, so anyway, third ninth axis. Let's pull some cards. Aquarius. Aqua. I love compost. Me too. Me too, Andy. So I know some of you guys weren't here right at the beginning. I just wanted to reiterate that next Monday, I'm going to be streaming at noon Mountain Time rather than my usual 7 p.m. Mountain Time slot. Reason being, I'm just making some adjustments to my schedule, trying to trying to create a more regular schedule for myself. But anyway, we're going to try it at noon next Monday. So hopefully you guys can listen in and participate. I know that's right in the middle of the workday for most of you guys here, but that is what it is. Wow. Okay, so anyway, Aquarius. Third, ninth house. What do we got going on here? What is the tarot going to tell us? Saturn will be pleased. Oh, word. Dude, I'm the worst with schedules. Oh my god. Okay, no, seriously, I gotta focus. Aqua. Woo. So we have the Page of Wands. Oh, Shannon, that's a great question. No, thank you for asking. That's a really common thing to be asked, but because it's such a common question, I don't mind at all answering that. So just give me a sec to pull the last card for Aqua, and read the cards for them, and then I'll come back and answer that for you. Okay. Just gonna star that. Boom. There we go. Aqua. Aqua. Last card. Where is it? Which one's it gonna be? Whoa, what was that? We got jumpers, but nothing that wants to actually come and say hi. It's a great, it's a wonderful question. Aha, there it is. Oh, Aqua. I didn't expect that. One never expects the Spanish Inquisition. Oh my god. Okay. It's Aqua. We got Page of Wands, Six of Wands, Two of Cups. That's a fun question, Cat Cans. I've definitely been somewhat shocked looking at a chart, but I wouldn't say I don't want to answer that question. I don't think so. I don't think anybody is necessarily doomed. Okay, anyway, sorry. So Aquarius, we got Page of Wands, Six of Wands, Two of Cups. That was the surprise there, the Two of Cups. Didn't see that one coming. So that's fun. I like that. Alrighty. So anyway, Page of Wands, Six of Wands. Fascinating. So this to me is really highlighting this axis really perfectly. In some areas, Aquarius, you are an absolute beginner. You're an absolute beginner. You're learning how to do something for the first time and, having fun with it, really. Page of Wands. J-Lo, I've seen your chart, girl. We've gone through your chart. You're a magical woman. Shush. Whoosh. Shush. In other things, Aquarius, you're a freaking badass. The Six of Wands is about victory. Quite literally, it is, for those of you that are a little more advanced with astrology, it's Jupiter and Leo. It's all about confidence. It's not like I don't know. I get this feeling of like faking it till you make it. It's like, yeah, you're a beginner in something. It's new. You might not know exactly every step that you need to take, but you're coming off like you do know exactly what you need to do. You've already had some measure of success here. So that's fantastic. Keep doing exactly that. What's up, Alan? Hello. Yeah, so keep doing exactly that, because as you are gaining in proficiency, you're gaining in confidence, and it's showing. It's showing. Me too, buddy. Me too. It's trash. Now, this confidence is incredibly sexy. Okay, it's incredibly sexy and it's inspiring. Well, okay, for some of you, this is coming off as like sexual charm. Not all of you, though. Okay, but straight up, for some of you, it's inspiring new connections, new spiritual or emotionally based connections. That's really beautiful. So, I mean, keep riding that energy as long as you can, but also don't be afraid to. God damn it, Andy. Don't be afraid to ask the questions, right? Don't be afraid to ask the questions that you don't if there's something that you're doing and you're brand new at it and you come across, for example, what Kat just said, you come across a word that you don't understand, or it's used in a different context than you're used to. Don't be afraid to ask the question, especially if you have a teacher or a guru or someone that you look up to that you can ask that question from. You can always learn it on your own, for sure, but occasionally, like the ninth house can be a mentor. Occasionally having somebody show you the ropes can be extremely helpful as well. So that could be Two of Cups. So anyway, roll with that. Roll with that. And don't be afraid of letting go of control. Sometimes we can be acting in a certain way because we're sometimes it can be really helpful to act in that way where you are like on top of the world and you're doing really good and you're exuding this confidence, and it's definitely contagious and it definitely helps. But like I said, don't be afraid to ask the question if you need to. Don't be afraid to look a little silly or a little bit noobish if that means that you're going to get clarity, right? So anyway, keep an eye out for sexy mentors. Oh my gosh. What's up, Daphne? Do you remember we were talking about Mercury and Venus in your chart? Okay. Yeah, dude. The seesaw is not fun. It's straight up. Straight up. That seesaw in my chart is why I'm always talking about the two sides of everything. It's because I literally experience it all of the time. It's fun. Vulnerability is strength. That's true. Yeah, 100%. And you know what? The other thing that I'll say about that is Aquarius, people connect more with vulnerability than they do with a fake front. Okay. So faking it till you make it can be very powerful and a really helpful tool. But don't forget, like, humanity, okay, Aquarius, humanity is really sexy as well, right? Being vulnerable is terrifying, but it can be terrifying. But if you have the right people around you, if you have the right people around you, then they will connect with that and be very appreciative of that. So don't be afraid to show your real feelings as well to the right people. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this question that Shannon had. She says, I have a large open area on my chart. If I have an overlapping sign or houses that overlap or whatever, or there's a sign that doesn't have anything in it, is there significance to that? Yes. Great question. Hell yeah. Okay. So if there are parts of your chart that don't have planets in them, or you have what they call in modern astrology an intercepted house, where there's I'll pull it up actually. Let me just pull it up so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's say this is your birth chart. Learning time. Anytime you want to redraw that, that'd be great. Okay, thanks, bye. Let's say this is your birth chart. You don't have any planets up here, or no planets in there either. That's not a planet. Let's say you have no planets up here in this part of your chart. And as soon as this decides to load, let's say you have some house cusps that look a little wonky, and there's signs that don't have a house cusp in them. That does not mean that you don't have that sign, and it does not mean that you don't have energy there. Okay, so let's say this is your birth chart. You got no planets in the first or the second house. That doesn't mean that you don't have a first house. It doesn't mean that you don't have a second house. You still have those houses. You still have that energy there. It's just that it's like, for example, this chart, a lot of the energy is concentrated over here. So a lot of their focus and lessons and activations will come from interacting with other people. That's essentially this side of the chart, really. Yeah. Now, they still would be a Scorpio rising. So they still have Scorpio in their chart. Mars would be their ruling planet. So Mars is over here in Cancer. So that person, they would actually be spending a lot of their time doing Mars and Cancer type activities in the 8th house. So probably actually diving deep into esoteric knowledge in some kind of that actually probably create some kind of like family situation around that. Anyway, so you still have that house. You still have energy there. And the second house, for example, in this chart would still be Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius would rule the second house in this chart. So therefore, we would look to see, where is Jupiter? Jupiter is in Aries right now in the 5th house, and actually, with this example, is right on the 6th house cusp. So the condition of Jupiter, what Jupiter's doing, aspects to Jupiter, flavor and color how the second house is. Okay, so if someone came to me and they had a question about money or finances, since we're talking about the second house, and they're like, but I don't have any planets there, does that mean that I'm not going to make any money? No, not at all. In fact, that's not true in the slightest. I would say, okay, Sagittarius is the second house, so this is the archetype. The sign is really the archetype and the flavoring. It's like the backdrop or the stage. Okay. The house is the area of life. Okay. So first house is literally your body. Second house is your values, the things that you put in your mouth, your finances, so on and so forth around the circle. So we've covered every area of life. The planets are the actors. So this is, for example, so the planet that rules the first house is literally you. So Mars is literally representing you and where you put your energy and where you spend your time, right? So the ruler of the fourth house cusp would be literally mom or literally dad. So for example, Aquarius, it'd be Saturn. So that would be describing your mom or your dad literally. So on and so forth. Yeah, so it can get pretty complicated pretty quickly. But just because there's an empty house or you don't have a cusp on a sign, it doesn't mean that you don't have that energy or it's not there. It's just we look for where the planet that rules that sign is and what he's doing, he or she or whatever is doing, and that's how we go from there. Andy, you're the best. Yeah, the herbs and spices. The signs are the herbs and spices. I like that. The signs are the herbs and spices. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Or the type of sauce. Yeah. Okay. So let's bring it back. There was another question I saw. Hold on, just scrolling back through the comments real quick. I'm singing so that there isn't dead air. Oh yeah. Kat, you asked, is there a type of chart that would shock me or that I would think would be cursed? Yeah, honestly, personally, I have a dark fucking chart. And if I I kind of feel bad. I kind of feel bad now for all the astrologers that I've gone to see because I'm like, damn, they had to look at my chart and tell me nice things. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's how you work with the hand that you've been dealt. Okay? So some people don't deal very well with the hand that they've been dealt, right? Also, just looking at the chart, I cannot tell the level of like spirituality that the person has. I can't tell how embodied they are from the chart. I can't tell exactly how they've chosen to deal with the things that are in their chart. So you can have, it's the motion in your ocean 100%. So you can have a really challenging, difficult chart with a lot of really dark shit and still turn out like a perfectly normal human being. Or maybe not normal, but you can turn those challenges into gifts, right? Exactly, Charlotte. That's literally what I'm trying to do here. Or also can't tell like how intense their trauma has been and whether they have gone through the necessary processes to begin healing that trauma, right? Yeah, I like that. Man, we're all talking about food. That's so friggin' Mercury and Taurus. I can see the ingredients. I have an idea of what kind of dish it might be, but I don't know what it ultimately tastes like until I talk to you. And even then, in a 1 hour session, I still am not going to know exactly. I'm not going to know everything, obviously. So there's a little bit of a danger with that, with astrology, with looking at somebody's chart and judging it based on just the chart. That's really dangerous. You should never do it. I won't lie. I've definitely looked at charts of people that I've dated or have been interested in dating, and it's really seductive to try and guess and think that you know it all, but you actually just end up yeah, it does go by quick. You actually just end up connecting with the chart rather than the real person. So that's something that I avoid doing now, as much as I can, but it's so seductive. Oh my gosh, Alan. Speaking of food, cheesecake. That sounds delicious. So anyway, moral of the story is, long story short, don't judge a chart without speaking to the individual, because you really can't. Because it could be a cheesecake or it could be a hot fucking mess. And you know what? Maybe in a year's time, that hot mess will turn into a cheesecake, but maybe they just need more time. Okay. Capricorn. Oh my gosh. That was the best metaphor ever. Oh man, okay. Oh shit. All right. I'm still laughing about that. Oh gosh. Okay, Capricorn. Ooh. Ooh, we are at almost an hour and a half. I'm just gonna take a quick sec to crack my back. Speaking of being in the body and stuff like that. Oh. It's warm in here. Alrighty. So for you guys, Capricorn, this full moon is in your 10th house. Up here. So the Aries Libra axis for you, Cap, is the 4th and 10th. So this is essentially career and home, work and your house, family and your public image, your ambitions, but also the shit that you need to take care of at home. Your anchor, as my teacher would say, your anchor or your root and your reach. That's the 4th and 10th house axis. So with the full moon in Libra being in the 10th house, Capricorn, there's definitely stuff that you're paying attention to, or launching or perfecting or beautifying or harmonizing that has to do with your career, right? You're making moves. You're expanding your reach, literally. If you're looking for a job, full moon Libra, perfect time to be applying is over the last month, but you have a really good chance of landing something with the full moon in the 10th house if you've been looking. If you're not looking but you're just developing something right now, then seriously, this is going to assist you with reaching some of those goals, right, that you've set for yourself. Now, with all the stuff still happening in Aries, I think it's really important to note that no matter what's going on with career stuff, family and the home and the conditions of your home is still important to take care of as well. So do your career thing, right? Venus is super powerful right now. Do the career thing, right? Focus on that, but just don't neglect what's happening at home. Because it's really important that you take care of that root. Without that root, without the root, the tree can't drink. The tree can't grow, can't continue to reach if it cannot pull from the ground, if it cannot root down, right? So make sure that you're not neglecting anything at home or with your family. And you know what? There might even be some tensions there, right? There might be a little bit. That's the nature of the opposition, is there's some kind of balance. That's a very Libra word, but it's a very opposition energy word as well. There's some kind of balance that needs to be struck between the two. So work on that. Oh, I love that. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Space and parables. Do not keep a cheesecake around a year. Oh my god. Hopefully you're making a new cheesecake. You know what I mean? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Uh, you guys. It's a metaphor, okay? I don't mean it literally. Damn. God. Okay, Cap. Eclipse season's coming in, guys. Woo. This is the last lunation we have in the Libra Aries axis before the eclipses. The next new moon will actually be the first eclipse in Aries, actually. The 29th degree of tropical Aries. Fun. All right, Capricorn. Let's focus here. 4th and 10th house axis. What do we got for this full moon? Eh? Whoa. It's a lot. Oh, shit. I just realized something. I am Capricorn rising here. Okay, so this is my 4th, 10th house we're talking about. I am making an adjustment, very Libra word, in how my 4th and 10th house stuff goes. Right now, every Monday, I've been doing this thing around 7 p.m. my time, so evening, and it's been working. But now I need to rebalance that and adjust that a little bit to, fix my fix my schedule. So I'm changing something that is literally has to do with the moon. So that's kind of funny. I'm changing something in how I appear publicly, right? Just the time, but still I'm changing something, making an adjustment in my career with my public image, essentially, to help me rebalance that 4th, 10th house axis. I literally just was like, oh, shit. So that's cool. Anyway. What do we got going, Capricorn? Let's see. How's that 4th, 10th axis? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, damn. Oh, I like that. So a 4th card came out on its own. So I guess y'all are lucky. Okay, so we got 9 of Cups, King of Wands, the freaking Sun, and then the 3 of Cups kind of like tumbled out. So that's neat. So anyway, 9 of Cups. Wow, Capricorn. I love that. Emotional satisfaction. That's beautiful. I say it with a question mark because it's not often that I pull nice cards for Capricorn, so it's like fucking nice. That's awesome. Yeah, well, yeah, dude, I love making eureka moments with astrology. It's my favorite shit ever. Most people that I talk to don't understand, so it's fun to have a place that I can share it. Even if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm just assuming that you do, and I'm rolling with it, and hopefully it helps teach you astrology at the same time. So anyway, 9 of Cups, you're reaching a point of like emotional satisfaction. That's really beautiful. Like there's literally nothing bad that I can say about that. It's fantastic. You've also got this King of Wands energy. So as you've reached this place of like contentment and feeling emotionally supported, it's helping you light up a little bit, brightening your face a little bit, helping you to take the role of a leader. Considering this full moon is in your 10th house, this is definitely not bad energy to have. The King of Wands is helping you to take charge of a certain situation. It's helping you to take that emotional satisfaction and channel it into your own career goals, right? I can't get no mama, but except you are getting satisfaction, right? Then we got the freaking sun card. Kabam, kablamo. So I would say, Capricorn, if you are personally in the position where you're trying to find a new career, or you're making some kind of shift in your career, or you're just trying to get another friggin' job, sun card saying go for it, go for gold, go for broke. Yeah, I can tell you about that for sure. I can definitely tell you about that. I'm a star this. I'm a star it, and I'll come back to that. Okay. I like that you put hybrid in. Like, is it really hybrid? Yeah, I can tell you about it. Okay, so anyway, I would say, Capricorn, for you guys. Okay, if there's something that you want to do that's like maybe a little bit daring, or maybe it's going to require a little bit more courage, especially if it has to do with landing a new job, or switching, making a change in your career. Do it. Take charge. Do it. Definitely 100%. The sun is bringing blessings, literally. It's helping illuminate the path forward for you. Is bringing in assistance. Basically, this is also a very solar energy, the King of Wands. How I learned tarot is that represents Leo. So very solar. So what's your ideal? What are your goals in this area, right? What is it that you want to accomplish? Make a plan and go for it. There's a lot of energy here that's supportive. And even maybe if you're open enough with your family, fourth house, then they'll be supportive too. The fourth card that came tumbling out of the deck was the Three of Cups. So there's something here about taking time to celebrate with friends, with loved ones, with sisters, with brothers, with cousins, with family. So take some time for that, and that will help feed you and feed your reach, essentially. Yeah. Okay, so the eclipse. Hybrid is an interesting word that you put there. So the eclipse, the solar eclipse, will be 29th degree of Aries. And it will like roll over into Taurus, and the north node will still be in Taurus. So it's an Aries with them Taurus flavoring, basically. So yeah, it's a little bit of both. But yeah, as we get closer to that day, I'll have the chart for you guys, and we can dive into it. Yeah. All right, Saj. I can't get no. God damn it, Shannon. All right, so Sagittarius, for you guys, the full moon is happening in your 11th house. So for you guys, the 11th house often has a lot to do with our wider social network. So not necessarily our close friends. That'd be more like third house. 11th house is more like the people that you meet at work, the acquaintances that you have, but also like the larger groups that you belong to, if you belong to any. 11th house can also be talking about the gains or the rewards that you get because you focused and put energy into your work or your career. The 5th house, where the sun is, okay, so hold on. So essentially, with the full moon happening in Libra, for you guys, Sagittarius, you're making new connections, new, hopefully beautiful and harmonious connections with other people, right? So you'll often find for Sagittarius the Okay, one thing that I associate with Libra is it's a polished performance. Um, the archetype of Libra, yes, harmony, balance, etc. Um, they are people with strong Libra energy are fantastic hostesses. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least a couple Sag risings out there that around this full moon they end up going to some event where the host or the hostess is just like they put on this magnificent gathering. Right. I don't know, I got a really strong image for that one. That's kind of fun. Okay, but anyway, so that's some 11th house themes for you. That's your wider social network. Now, and like your cash flow in the form of like rewards and raises and stuff from your career. Okay. So anyway, the fifth house, the opposite side of this pendulum here, this is your fun house, really. This is fun, pleasure, joy, romance, children, creativity. If we're talking about like the stage versus the audience, fifth house is like you're getting ready to get on the stage. 11th house is the audience that you would perform it for. Um, so that's a thing. Um, anyway, as far as like what might need to be adjusted for you is like, okay, so you've had a lot of big focus on pleasure and on creativity lately, Sag. And maybe even hoping for children, right? So what kind of environment, so the environment that your children would grow up in is more your third house. But when they go out into the wide world, what are what other supports are they going to have? What does your tribe look like? How close are you with the how close are you with your acquaintances? Um, and like, are you still spending time with your loved ones? Specifically, fifth house, your lover or your children, or your hobbies. So don't lose sight of what brings you joy, right? Especially with Jupiter going through your fifth house. Like, there are definitely things that bring you joy that are just as important to focus on right now. So don't lose sight of that. And even I would say with Chiron being right on, or the sun being right on top of Chiron for this full moon, there could be some really beautiful healing actually happening through your artistic, through your artistic self, or focusing in on your romance a little bit, or your children a little bit. Uh, so it's a fun axis, actually, I think. If you're thinking more along the lines of money, this is like gambling, and this is like your long-term investments, right? This is short-term gains, this is long-term gains, or short-term losses, long-term losses. Definitely be, if finances is more on the brain and not like friends and lovers, then then I would say to you, Sagittarius, to always always be balancing out. I mean, okay, all right. First of all, Sagittarius, you're fucking lucky. All right, you're a very lucky sign. It's a thing for you guys. It's like blind luck. It makes no sense to me, but um, I've recently met a Sag rising that has Jupiter in Aries. They can get really lost in gambling, so be really really careful with that. And perhaps the moon in the 11th house is actually just asking you to really look at what your long term investments are, and be paying a little bit more attention to them rather than the short term fun, right? So anyway, that's the 11th fifth axis. That was really wordy, but that's it. Sagittarius. Ooh, I need water. Hold up. I don't know what's wrong with my brain, man. I'm like, oh, I'm streaming. I can't do things that are like drinking water and stuff. I don't know why I think that. It makes no sense. So anyway, here's your reminder to drink some water. Ugh. All right. What do we got for Sagittarius? Should I hold up a sec? Hold up. Wait a minute. Just realized I was holding my breath and I have no idea why. So we're just going to take a quick sec to get back into my body. Hold on. Trying to practice what I preach. This is a tuning fork if you've never seen one. So this is actually a weighted tuning fork. Bought this from Eileen Makuzek's store. The fuck is it called? Somebody help me out here. Yeah, this is a sonic slider. Well, I get excited. I get excited, and then I just start talking, and I forget to breathe. It's funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. Andy, breathe with me, man. Yeah. No, especially when I'm reading tarot or I don't know. I think I do it less. I think I do it less when I'm doing astrology readings, but I'll just I don't know. I get excited and then. So anyway, just taking a quick minute here, grounding back into my body. Oh, that feels nice. Oh, I just hit a spot on my arm. Okay, I need a sec. Hold on. Woo. Yeah, I started bringing this with me on Saturdays. I've been reading tarot in a bar, and I've been bringing this with me to like do a little bit of a clearing in between readings. And actually, I've been like putting it right on my deck like this. I'll show how. I will demonstrate. Just putting it right on my deck, just like that, and it feels nice. Is Dr. Dre even still alive? Well, I have no idea. I don't know anymore, man. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, so that's fun. It's a thing. Yeah. So quick little side note while I'm doing this. I talk so much about embodiment, and I preach this so much because that's been a large part of my own journey. Dude. My boyfriend looks at me and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I'm fine." But really, it's just I forgot to breathe. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna tell him next time. Like, I forgot to breathe. Anyway, so I talk about that a lot because literally, embodiment is really important to me, and I think that learning how to take myself out of a state of fight or flight and to get back into my freaking body is the number one thing that has helped me the most out of everything? One of the biggest things that helps me, seriously, with literally everything. Every problem that I had, I try to if I try to go at it in a logical way, but I'm dissociated in any way, logic doesn't work. So you literally have to get back into your body before you can use your cognitive functions. So that's a thing. Okay. But yeah, dude, Andy, I'm open about that. So it's all good. Okay, that's way better. I feel better. All right, now I can pull cards for you, Sagittarius. Thank you for hanging out for a second while I did that. Don't forget to breathe, y'all. Yes, sir, Devin. And it's really not backwards. It's actually primary direction, but it's okay. We don't need to get into that. Stacy, except for the days that I don't, like when Mercury goes retrograde, I'm gonna switch it up just to fuck with you guys. Just oh god. All right. Sagittarius. Yeah, Davin. So I have not done Virgo or Scorpio yet. Can't remember where your moon is. And I just dropped a card. Hold on. 2 cards. Ooh. Fuck. Oh, sorry, y'all. Sagittarius sending me on an adventure. Damn. Okay, Sag. Because these fell on the floor, I don't know what order they're supposed to be in, so I'm just going to start talking and we'll see how it lands for you. How does that sound? So we got the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, and the 3 of Cups. All right. Yeah, I fucking I love the boot. I love the boot. I'll use it with the boot and without the boot, depending on what I'm doing. But I usually just leave the boot on because it's just fucking awesome. Okay. Right, Moon and Virgo too. Cool. Thanks, buddy. Okay. Sorry. So Sagittarius. Y'all have waited long enough. I apologize. So 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands, 3 of Cups. With this 10 of Wands, all right, there has been something really weighing you down. Even getting rid of just one thing, especially if it's just been too much, can be really helpful. All right. Literally, I actually get the sense with some of you that it's like you've needed to step back from 1 or 2 things in order to actually like feel replenished and help your mental health. So that's a big deal. Now, I love the 10s because the 10s are actually about a situation coming to an end and finally being completed. This 9 of Wands coming out is to remind you that you actually have a ton of strength, all right? You are very strong. You have endured a lot. And actually, both the 9 and the 10 of Wands are both Sagittarius cards, speaking of, so that's interesting. So something's coming to a close, something's ending for you, but it's like there's still more work to be done, and that's fine. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a little bit of work, right? It's Oh, that's a great question, Shannon. I'm gonna star that one. I'm starring that. I'll come back to it. Um yeah, there's more work to be done. It's like you're not finished yet. So keep plugging along, right? Keep plugging along. Um and don't forget to celebrate the small victories, right? Celebrate those small victories, right? Especially if there's been something that's really weighing on you that has got you to a point where you feel like almost beat up or beat down by it. When you finally let go of that thing, or you just decide to shift your focus a little bit, take a moment to celebrate, nurture yourself, connect with others, connect with people that you love, that you find pleasure talking to, right? That's the fifth house stuff coming up. Um, so I'll do that. Yeah, no, it's good. Exactly. It's good. Andy. Oh, God. Now, what's kind of interesting, I'm just looking underneath the deck here for you, Sag, and we got the Two of Swords underneath the deck, which is literally, by the way, literally Moon in Libra. The way that I learned tarot, anyway, is Moon in Libra. So, as far as like what needs to be let go of, which thing needs to be paused or stepped back from, whichever one feel okay. I don't think that it's an accident that I needed to take a minute to get back into my body and do some things for myself that help me feel better right before your reading. I don't think that's an accident in the slightest. And I think that especially when the Two of Swords comes out, if there's something that is really like firing up your nervous system in a negative way and it's too much stress, then that's probably the thing that you need to step back from. Like there's a really big difference between like something that is too stressful and like toxic stress and something that is like pleasurable. Like there's different pains in the body. There's the pain that you get after a really good day of solid work or working out, and then there's the pain that you get from standing in one place on cement floors or uneven floors with shitty shoes or something like that, right? It's different, right? It's different. Um, or the pain that you get from working with people that you fucking hate or something like that, right? Really big difference there. So anyway, you want to go towards the thing that will still feel enjoyable, right? You want that enjoyable energy, definitely for you, Sagittarius, definitely. um but it's still going to be challenging, right? You still want it to be challenging, but not to the point where it's too much or it feels too heavy, or there's a major mental or soul drain. You know what I mean? When you're working at a job and it's like you feel your soul getting sucked out of you every time you clock in. You don't want that. Um, so take that how that lands for you, Sag. Take that home. Take that how it lands. Yeah, seven's awesome. Glad to hear it. Yeah, exactly. Like pickleball. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a sport, and I'm sure that it was fun, right? But I'm sure that it was fun. And like that's good pain. That's good pain. That's good stress. That's good pain. Alan, shut up. All right, what's up, crypto? Yeah, you missed Pisces, but that's okay because you're here now. So what's up? All right, Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. For you guys, I'm just gonna switch this. Bam. So for you guys, Scorpio, the full moon is happening in your 12th house. Dun dun dun. Oh, I was going to answer a question. That's sweet. Thank you, Crypto. Sorry, I'm still laughing at Alan. Okay, so Shannon had a really cool question. Daughter's wondering how influential is Chiron in an ascending sign? So Chiron in the first house, um, any planet or point, because there's points that are measured in astrology that are not planets. But anyway, any planet or point in the first house is incredibly influential over the person's personality and their body. So now Chiron in particular, this is a newer asteroid that we is fairly recent. Only fairly recently been added to astrology. So there's lots you can read about out there about Chiron, but keep in mind that it's fairly new. So it's still being tested. Now, that said, Chiron is called the wounded healer. So someone with Chiron in their first house, that theme of going through difficult situations, but then being a healer is very prominent for that person that would have that in their first house. So yeah, it's more influential than if, say, Chiron is in the second or the third house. Definitely, that first house is very powerful. It's very visible and noticeable. They say that any planets in the angle houses, so the first house, the 10th house, the 7th house, or the 4th house, are very loud and visible because they're on the angles, and those are very prominent areas in our lives. Like I said, first house is literally your body and your personality and the archetype that you're learning to embody. So actually, Davin is here right now. Davin has been doing a series on Chiron, the Chiron Versations. Love it. And there's a few astrologers out there that have some fantastic stuff on the subject. What is his name? Tom Jacobs. Tom Jacobs has some really beautiful stuff on Chiron. But essentially it's about healing, and how you can offer those gifts to others. So yeah, Chiron does sound pretty legit. I'm still investigating it. But yeah. Now Chiron moves pretty damn slowly. It's not a very quick. Tom Jacobs. Did I say Tim or Tom? I'm not sure. Anyway, thank you, Davin. So anyway, yeah. Chiron sits in between Saturn and Uranus. So it moves slower than Saturn. Saturn has a 27 to 28 year transit around the zodiac. So Chiron moves even slower than that. So it's a very slowly moving asteroid. But anyway, that said, I think when we have transits to our natal Chiron, we're more likely to notice it. And of course, I would really need to. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Shannon, for that reflection. Yeah, like I would need to see the rest of the chart to really talk about it in any more depth than that, because I don't know where her Jupiter is. I don't know what kind of aspects she's got to that Chiron, right? I don't know how close that Chiron is to her ascendant degree. So that's another factor. I'll show you what I mean. That's another factor that could influence how potent it is. So for example, let me just put this back to Placidus real quick. So, for example, if this were somebody's birth chart and they wanted to know how K2 or the South Node was affecting them, well, how close how close in degree that is to that ascendant line will change how potent and how loud that energy is. But yeah. All right, back to Scorpio. All right, so glad I could answer that for you. Alrighty, so Scorpio. Now we're doing Scorpio. So Scorpio, full moon in the 12th house. Kabam! So this 6th, 12th axis is lit up for you with full moon. All right, you've had a lot of energy focused in your 6th house, which is the house of health, house of illness, the house of your daily routine and tasks, your service, the services that you provide is really that 6th house. Whoa, sorry. Accidentally punching my mic. Apologies. um so so with Jupiter making his mad dash through the 6th house and the sun there now too, and with the sun right on top of Chiron for you, this could be really powerful for healing something physical for you actually. It could also, there's healing only comes after there has been something that caused the injury in the first place, right? So whatever that actually is for you, it's going to be different for everybody, but definitely be working with this energy, be working on like how can you change your routine, what can you add to your routine, especially with this being a martial sign. Literally, it's Aries ruled by Mars. It's a martial sign. With this being such a martial sign, do things that get you into your body through movement. Okay. So the 6/12 axis has a lot to do with your mental and your spiritual health and your physical health, and how those two things often, actually always, influence each other. So with the moon, full moon in the 12th house for you guys, what I would say is, well, anytime you have a big lunation in the 12th house, pay attention to your dreams. You could very well be getting some intuitive or gut feelings about things that you need to pay attention to. The 12th house can be associated with like hidden enemies and like scary stuff like that. And sometimes that stuff does actually come up, right? You didn't realize that this person was out to get you, and then all of a sudden they are. It's a thing, it happens, that's real life. But anyway, having a full moon in your 12th house doesn't necessarily mean that that is going to happen, so please take what I say with a grain of salt. But if it does come up, then you know why. Anyway, full moon in the 12th house, you could also see things come up like I already talked about dreams. So you might find like you really need to just take a chill pill and be by yourself for a little bit. The 12th house is a house of isolation, so this can manifest in all kinds of different ways. Like it can be is something as simple as wanting to do some paintings by yourself in isolation. And I picked painting specifically because we're talking about Libra. We're talking about something beautiful and artistic. Or it could be something like, I'll give you the other end of the spectrum for in the name of balance. The other end of the spectrum is you end up spending the night in in the psych ward. Okay, so so like it could be you're reading a book alone and doing some deep research, or you're forced into isolation. Hopefully nobody here is going to be forced into isolation, right? Ideally you're taking this energy and using it in a dare I say responsible way. All right, everybody take a shot. Just kidding. But anyway, so work with this energy consciously if you can. I've said before, just because there's a transit happening doesn't mean that anything specific is necessarily going to happen. A lot of the times we can get worked up over something and then nothing fucking happens. But to work with this consciously, I would suggest going into some meditations, okay? Especially if you can do something that involves movement like Qigong or I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, like a walking or a running meditation, or you're involving moving your body in some way, while focusing your mind and syncing, body and breath and mind and soul and all those things all together. Anyway, Scorpio, it's powerful. It's a very powerful full moon, right? Um, like I said, there's definitely some really beautiful healing that could come from this. It's just that you need to focus the energy and channel it yourself. Okay. Whoa, 18 comments. Jesus. Oh, what's up, Jenny G in the house? No, you don't need to watch your back. Just go read a book. Okay, I'm caught up. Straight jacket Tai Chi. Oh my god. Dude, that would be so fun. Okay, I like where you're going with this. You could okay, just to play with this idea for a minute, all right? So straight jacket Tai Chi. You could take something like that and make a game, like gamify it, by like challenging somebody else to race you on like getting out of a crazy situation like that. I don't know. Play with that a little bit, okay? Guys crack me up. Okay, next level MMA. Dude, I've seen videos of guys doing jujitsu in a car. So like that's fun. Jujitsu in a car. Or have you seen the ones where they're like one hand is chained to like a bar table and then the other hand is like they're boxing with the other hand, but one hand is literally chained to a fucking table. Oh my god. Yeah, jujitsu in a car. It's a thing. It's definitely a thing already. One guy's like choking the other with a fucking belt. With the fucking belt. Oh my god. Savage, but you know, real life scenarios. Like, hey, what if someone tries to carjack you? What are you gonna do? Oh man. Oh man. Jiu-jitsu in a car. For some reason, Mars in Cancer is perfect for talking about that. Ugh, that's hilarious. All right, Scorpio. Cuffed Kung Fu? Of course you fucking have, Gabe. Of fucking course you have. Potato Sack MMA? That sounds fun. Guys. All right, Scorpio. So clearly you need to do some crazy ass martial arts, all right? That's what you need to do. All right. Oh man. Ooh. Okay, that's a lot. All right, so Scorpio, first card out, we got the Knight of Cups and then the Ace of Wands. Oh. Fun. Okay, so Knight of Cups in this context, I'm going to say like, oh, and then the Knight of Wands. Damn, what in the hell? Okay. Oh my god. Yo. In the left corner, we have the Knight of Wands. In the right corner, the Knight of Cups. Deadliest battle of all time. They're fighting over a stick. Who's gonna win? You tell me. Match starts in 10. Dude, that's hilarious. Okay. Oh my gosh. Seriously though, how these came out, they're both facing this ace like this. Yeah, lol, what exactly? I know. Seriously though. They're both facing the ace. Okay, so I don't know if what we were talking about and what I was laughing about influenced the cards, or if that's literally what Sagittarius needs to do, is have some duking it out battle with their own mental self. Potato sack between two knights. Oh, that's good shit. It's funny though, because it's like now I'm picturing, okay, how would the Knight of Cups do in a potato sack versus how would the Knight of Wands do in a potato sack fight, or not fight, race, right? The Knight of Cups, I can see them like really wanting to get to the finish line, but it's like they're being driven by like an emotional need not to win, but to like win acceptance or win somebody's heart. And then the Knight of Wands is just like, fuck you, I'm gonna win because I'm the best. And then it's just like oh my goodness. Welcome, Adriana. Man. One of the taglines for the show is Giggle Tarot. The giggle finally came out. It took a little bit, but we got there. What's up? Oh shit. Oh my god, Scorpio. Okay, so for real though, for real, Scorpio. I apologize. Just like give me a second here. Fuck, it's been 2 hours and I'm not even halfway through the signs. That's god damn it. Okay. So this is why I'm moving into noon, by the way, just so you know, because this is usually how it goes. It's like fucking 3 hours later and I'm not done. So all right, so Scorpio. It seems that you are in competition. Are you in competition with somebody else, or are you in competition with yourself? Potatoes, are they better baked or boiled, mashed, fried? Fuck you, Andy. Considering that we are talking about the 6th and 12th axis for this lunation, Scorpio, you're actually in competition with yourself. This is really interesting because it could be like something really physical and passionate and fun and enjoyable that you somehow manage to incorporate into your daily routine. Is it's like that is actually going to help. Is actually going to help you illuminate some spiritual truth for yourself, right? So, hey, some spiritual truth or some deep psychological truth about yourself that maybe you've been, shy about looking at or hesitant to look at. I want to be the very best. Yeah, exactly. Gotta catch them all. But for real though, the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands are two very different energies, right? They go about this in two very different ways. The Knight of Cups is much more internally focused, whereas the Knight of Wands is extremely externally focused. And it's not that one is better than the other, it's just that how they go about it is different. And it's like you're actually being asked to use both, which is very Libra, isn't it? You need to take a balanced approach. So get into your body, like I was saying, get into your body through something physical, something martial, something Aryan in nature. But at the same time, while you're doing that, be focused on what the fuck you're doing, first of all. Please don't injure yourself on my behalf. But perhaps while you're doing that, you have some kind of insight. You learn some kind of truth about yourself, or you have some kind of inspiring moment that helps you to then sit down and also do it in the water way as well, right? So you're doing something that's very fire, very external, and then it's like, I get it. And then because you've done that external stuff, because you've got that energy out, because you have, helped yourself get into your body through physical activity, then you're able to go in and do the emotional, the water, the dream work even, right? I forgot to breathe again. And then it's like some spiritual truth will come out. Something inspiring will happen after that. Or because of that. Right? Whoa. Throwing cards. Settle down. Yeah, it's important work. You'll never be done doing shadow work. You can take breaks every now and again, but something that every time you have a strong emotional reaction to something, there's a shadow aspect that's trying to be integrated. So pay attention to it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love that feedback. Okay, so Libra. Gonna take a quick water break. Libra. Everybody's looking at you, Libra. Ooh. So Libra, full moon in your first house. Okay, I've never talked with this thing on my jaw. That's interesting. Okay, anyway, full moon in your first house, Libra. So if you're a Libra rising, this is literally lighting up your body, your life path, the archetype that is you. Literally, people are focused on you. They're looking at you. And of course, since the sun is in your 7th house and Jupiter's in the 7th house and all this 7th house stuff has been going on lately, it's, this is highlighting. Are you taking care of yourself? I think I talk about this with you guys a lot, but it's important. It's part of the archetype that you're learning to master. Balancing the needs of the self and the needs of the other. Balancing the goals of the self and the goals of the other. Having strong boundaries. So one of the things that's really important when we're going to interpret a sign is there's more than just the sign itself that plays into the archetype. The planet that rules it colors some of the interpretation. The planet that's exalted in it colors some of the interpretation. The planet that's fallen in it colors some of the interpretation. So with Libra, it's ruled by Venus, harmony, beauty, love, etc., relationships, all of those stuff. Yes, Saturn is exalted in Libra. I know I haven't talked about this for any of the other signs, but I feel the need to hammer this point home. Considering that Saturn is about boundaries and about saying no, this is something that's really important for Libra to learn. How to say no, how to set boundaries, and how to say yes to what's really important. But we can't say yes to what's really important until we've learned to say no to what isn't important or what doesn't suit us. So yes, seek harmony, seek balance, all of this love stuff, seek beauty, and say no. Use proper boundaries. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that. Oh, what's up, PK? Facts. Yeah. If you ever meet someone that says they're done doing their shadow work, they're not. They're not. They're not. Oh, good. Okay. I need some chapstick. Hold up. Wait a minute. Tap into your Aries shadow, Andy says. We love no. Word. Libra. Full moon in your sign, Libra. How is ruled different than exalted, and which one is domicile? Domicile is the same as ruled. So the planet that rules the sign, that is their domicile. So their home. And exalted is like you're the guest of honor. So, for example, since we're talking about Libra, Venus rules the sign. Venus is in her domicile when she's in the sign, and Saturn is exalted. So the difference, like what that means essentially, is when Venus is in Libra, she can. Okay. I love brownies, Nicholas. Please send me some. So when a planet is at home, they have all of the tools at their disposal that they need to operate to their fullest capabilities. However, they also have more responsibilities to take care of. It's like when you are at home. You're comfortable, you're in your own element, you have everything that you need, but you also have to do the dishes and fold your laundry and cook and stuff like that. Versus when you are somewhere where you are the guest of honor, the dishes are done for you. You're depending on where you're at. Yeah, depending on where you're at. Maybe you could get your laundry like dry cleaned for a small fee or whatever. Maybe the bed is made for you every single day, like when you're staying in a hotel or whatever. So when a planet is exalted, and there's very specific signs and very specific places where planets are exalted. But anyway, when they're exalted, it's like they are able to act and perform even better than when they're at home. Does that make sense? Having someone else do the dishes sounds nice, right? I know. Okay. Libra. No one is putting laundry away. Dang it, Maribeth. Fair enough. Well, I hope you're enjoying playing with the puppy because that sounds awesome. Puppies are nice. All right, so what has Libra got? First, 7th house axis is being lit up. What do we got for you, Libra? What are you focused on? Libra. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. 2 of freaking wands. Yes! Libra, you're focused on yourself. What are your goals? Where do you want to go in life? Magician. Fuck. I love that. Ooh. Gentle. Gentle, please. Gentle. And 7 of coins. Okay. That That is a whole nother level of badassery. I love that, Stacy. So Stacy says, learning to be grateful we have things to clean was a huge change for me. Gratitude for the meal, dishes, for clothes, while hanging laundry on the line, etc. Totally, 100%. You can turn anything into a gratitude and meditation practice. Sometimes I'll catch myself in the middle of folding laundry and I'll fold it, but it won't be like nice. And then I'll catch myself like, why? How I treat my things is how I feel about myself. It reflects it anyway. So PK's got another question for me. You hit enter too soon, did you? Okay. So like, just taking a little bit of extra time to fold it nicely, and really paying attention to how you're doing that is an active meditation, and it's really helpful. Oh, that's a good question. So the term exalted is just for signs. It's a different term that we use for a house. So certain planets, they're said to be in their joy in certain houses. Yeah, and then when a planet is in a house that it enjoys being in, it's like a nice little extra boost, basically. Okay, so anyway, Libra, these are great cards, actually. These are great cards. We got the Two of Wands, the Magician, and the Seven of Pentacles. Yo, what's up, Raising Star Seedlings? Thank you. I love Michelle. That was a lovely talk. Thank you very much. Okay, so anyway, Libra, we got the Two of Wands. I love that. This to me says that you have a path that you're on and you've been following that path, and it's important for you to stay on that path. Continue taking forward steps. You're gaining some momentum here. The Two of Wands is called the Lord of Dominion. Okay. It's fucking badass. It doesn't sound like Libra, does it? But Libra, that's good. That's a good thing. 22 in the chat right now. That's cool to see as well. There's that balance there. Again, in order to be in a healthy relationship, you yourself have to be whole, to the point where someone coming in is adding to your life, not taking away. So having your own things, your own hobbies, your own spiritual practices, your own routine, your own career path, or whatever it is for you, having those things is really important, because it helps you to be a well-rounded human being, and then the relationship can be healthy, right? So anyway, Two of Wands, fucking awesome. Keep going. Then we got the Magician. The Magician to me talks about learning skills. So he's mastered all four of the elements. He understands the very basic tenet of as above, so below. Oh, good to hear, dude. Good to hear. Thank you for that feedback. Appreciate that. The Magician has figured out the secrets of the universe, and now they are arranging things and measuring things and using skills that maybe they didn't have before. They're honing skills and gaining confidence. That's you, Libra. Andy, girl. Now, the Seven of Pentacles coming in. The Seven of Pentacles is, I like to view it as a nice reminder that not everything will go according to plan. Some things go not according to plan at all. In fact, most things that have been planned rarely survive the initial execution of said plan. You usually have to pivot and change things and adapt as you go. Now, the Seven of Pentacles is a lovely reminder to plan for the long term, right? Not just the short term, the long term. This is you looking at your work that you've done, right? Looking at the seeds that you've been planting this entire time or that you've been planting previously, and they're manifesting for you now, right? This is a full moon in Libra. We are looking at something that is coming to a culmination, that's manifesting, that's showing itself in your life. So something that you started a while ago, okay? Something that you started a while ago, that you gained some proficiency in, that you gained skills in, that you gained confidence in, is beginning to show some fruit. It's beginning to show some, you're actually seeing some of the progress, right? And yeah, so this is a nice reminder to keep going with that, right? Keep on that path. And just remember that, like, there will be things that come up. Like, you can't plan for every storm, right? You can't plan for freak frosts, right? Sometimes, you know, the temperature drops a little bit below freezing and you didn't expect it. Right? Exactly. We might think you have it all figured out, and then, you know, we get a snowstorm in the middle of June, you know? So, like, do what you can to plan for some of those potential possibilities, right? But you can't plan for it all. That's okay. So just roll with it, right? Roll with it. There's always lessons to be learned. And I'm freaking positive that some of those previous situations that you've been in that were unexpected, that took you by surprise, that maybe set you back, you learned from, didn't you? Or the wind blows 70 miles an hour. Word. I'm thinking about my garden adventures last year. Oh my God. Man, we learned so much. We learned so much about what to do and what not to do, specifically for my region. And you know what? Yeah. But number one lesson I'll tell you right now is, if you are in a region where you have unexpected weather changes, don't buy cheap shit. Buy the quality. Invest. Okay? Invest in the good quality stuff. Don't buy the cheap stuff, because you know it's crap. Okay? You know it's crap. You know it's going to break, and you know when things get crazy or hairy like they do, it's not going to last. So bite the bullet and invest in the good shit is basically what I'm trying to say. Word. Oh, the garden is such a amazing teacher. That's interesting, J-Lo. My hands are actually really cold right now. Yeah, no disposable crap. That was a big lesson. We were running on, like, basically a $0 budget. So we needed to make it stretch, and then ended up wasting a bunch of money on stuff that ended up like and it was like, never mind. So lesson learned. Okay, what do we got here? Moving on, Virgo. All right, Virgo. So for you guys, Libra is your second house. This is the house of possessions, valuables. The sun is transiting through your 8th house. Other people's values and valuables. As I said earlier, For Pisces, if you weren't here for Pisces, I will repeat myself, but um this axis, the second and eighth axis, has can have a lot to do with sensuality as well. So anyway, full moon in the second house, one of the main topics likely coming up is literally finances and how you're managing your finances right now. And the balance that needs to be struck for you between, what your individual goals are, right? What your individual values are, and perhaps a partner that you're working with, what theirs are, or even a shared project that you both are working on, right? So you can have like shared projects going on work wise. That could totally be eighth house, especially if you are pooling money and working really closely with somebody. You've got like a joint bank account, that kind of shit. That's definitely eighth house. If you're managing other people's money for them, like you are like a financial investor or you sell financial products, you're working with the eighth house. There's a lot of stuff that falls under that category of eighth house. Not all of it is scary. Some of it is. Some of it definitely is. But anyway, for you guys, Virgo, basically, I would say like take some time to check in with yourself for this full moon and just kind of maybe take a bit of an inventory. What kind? Actually, this is perfect. We talked about this in the chat just a quick minute ago. How do you feel about your things? Your literally your possessions. How do you feel about them? We were just talking about on a previous sign, and I think that it applies here, so I'm bringing it back up again. We were just talking about how doing your dishes and folding your laundry and cleaning the house and that kind of stuff can be a meditative activity. You can turn it into a meditation. And Stacy had a brilliant thing that she said that I love. I'm going to repeat it for you, Virgo, because I think that you need to hear it. You can have gratitude for the things around you. I know it sounds like a crazy concept. What? But seriously, while you're doing your dishes, reflect on how grateful you are that you're full. While you're doing laundry, reflect on how grateful you are that you have clothes and a machine that washes them for you. Unless you do them by hand, in which case, be grateful for your washing board. You know what I mean? And like, how amazing is it that we live in? Honestly, I was very grateful for like modern plumbing the other day. I was like, fucking thank God for sinks. So maybe that could be something that will be really helpful for you to hear right now, and something that you could practice a little bit. Make a ritual out of some of your daily tasks where you're working with literally your own possessions and expressing gratitude, whether internally or externally. It really doesn't matter. This isn't something that I can mark you on. You're not going to you're not going to get marked for this, right? You can't turn it into a teacher. This is for you. But that could be a very helpful practice for you. So try something like that. Now keep in mind, of course, with all this stuff going on in your eighth house, with Jupiter there, with Chiron there, with the sun there right now, quite likely you're experiencing some interesting, potentially upsetting stuff, right? The eighth house, it can be as simple and as nice as working with other people's money, or it can be like something that is affecting you very deeply psychologically, right? I'm hoping that my hope for you is basically that while you're working with stuff on a really simple level, with your own stuff, this is going to help you express and heal some things that's going on psychologically, or at least help lighten the load a little bit. I love that the sun is right on top of Chiron and Jupiter. There'll be that Jupiter Kazemi in your eighth house only a couple of days later, next Monday, actually. So work with this energy, right? The Oh, snap. Well, that was weird. Oh, sniggity snap. That was super weird. Okay, well, I'm back. Yep, internet. Yep. Grateful that I got internet. Fucking hell. Okay. We here? We here? I'm here. You guys here? Ukraine just invaded Canada. Gabe. Shush. Shush. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so where were we? Oh my gosh. Okay, so screen share, pull that up, motherfucker. I was in the middle of a really good flow there. Ah, that sucks. That sucks. Okay. Damn it, Virgo. Love you guys. All right, so sorry. Didn't mean to do that right in front of the mic. So the eighth house, as I was saying, can be while we're having really intense transits in the eighth house, there can be really unexpected stuff that comes up. Okay. It is one of the hidden houses. It is associated with sudden, unexpected, unplannable events. Trauma. Okay. We're talking trauma. Eighth house is tied directly to trauma and to events that ultimately cause us to go through a rebirth. Okay. Death and rebirth. So it can be a scary house. But this can also be a very powerful time for you to work with someone that is able to help guide you on a deep psychological journey, right? So, talking to like an evolutionary astrologer, or if you have some kind of mental health practitioner that you trust, going to see them, or talking with like a psychic that does like ancestral healing, that kind of stuff is super powerful and very potent, especially over the next week or so while this like Jupiter Sun thing's going on. And I mean, if you were to work with this energy as well on the full moon itself, which is Wednesday if you're in North America, Wednesday night, Thursday if you're in Europe. If you were to work with this energy directly, and do it if you can. And I mean, check it out. Okay, having Aries on the eighth house, that's really interesting. Okay, so in order to walk the Virgo path, which is about service, selflessness, healing, tending to the temple, it's all literally about selflessness, or can be anyway. It can also, it could be about, if you're not spiritual, then those things don't really necessarily apply, but I see it manifest in other ways. Like personal grooming is a really important thing for Virgo. But anyway, walking the Aries path, the path of aloneness, the path of oneness, not one with everything in the all, that's Pisces, but like individuality, that can feel very scary. But in that archetype, that is where your rebirth occurs, working with that energy. Okay, so anyway. Oh, hey, Jolene, back. You're back. Did you listen to Libra? It was a good one. Stop time traveling? Dude, I'm probably fucking being abducted by aliens or some shit. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, I don't know. I don't think so. Okay, so yep, that's Virgo. Cards. Man, that threw me off. Okay, fair enough. All right, we're back. So, cards for Virgo. Okay. That's okay. You should listen to Cancer anyway. when I get there. Alrighty, Virgo. What do we got for you? Second, eighth axis. Ooh. Six of Swords. Hermit. Uh-huh. Cracks me up, okay? When we get when we get these fucking readings, we got these cards that are extremely opposite in energy. It makes me just as a tarot reader, I'm like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to interpret that? But here we are. So anyway, and actually this works out nicely. So with the Six of Swords, ultimately the sixes are talking about balance. Okay. Ultimately, the sixes are about balance. They're perfectly balanced, actually, as a matter of fact. The Six of Swords is associated with a lot of things. One of those things being, well, being perfectly mentally balanced. Sometimes we might have to leave and go somewhere in order to obtain that balance. But ultimately, at least in the deck that I learned on, this is about achieving like understanding different variables and adjusting and correcting a formula basically in order to achieve perfection. Now, this card can also be referring to leaving and finding another place. And really, in order to do that, you need to know where you're going, you need to know why you're leaving, and you need to know, like, is the grass actually going to be greener on the other side, or am I just projecting that it's going to be better on the other side? It's actually the same shit in a different pile, so be mindful of that. The Hermit coming out is really, well, I think that the Hermit is perfect for all of this eighth house stuff that's going on for you right now, because I was just talking about the possibility that there is for doing some deep psychological soul searching and healing, and that's what the Hermit is really ultimately about. He is here to remind you that you have an incredibly deep inner wisdom. And also, I think with the Six of Swords in this particular, yeah, exactly, the Virgo card for Virgo, 100%. Yes, you got it. The Six of Swords can also be talking about, like, especially with this image, they're being carried across the river by a ferryman. The ferryman is the important part of the image, I feel. It's like somebody's watching over you while you're doing your thing, right? So there's a guide, there's someone that's here to help you, there's someone to help you balance out the formula, which is perfect for Virgo. It's literally perfect for Virgo. There's someone that's here to help you balance it out, to help you figure out what the minute details need to be in order for the proper outcome. But I feel like this particular transit is less about trying to figure that out and more about getting into your body and letting the other helping hands around you, whether they're spiritual or whether they're literal, help you figure out what those adjustments and what those measurements need to be, right? And then we got the Queen of Wands. This is what I was talking about. I was kind of laughing because I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, of all the major arcana for the Queen of Wands to come out with, the Hermit, really? But it's kind of like, Virgo, in private, when you're alone, there's something extremely passionate and vibing with sexual energy doesn't actually have to be that, but I'm talking Kundalini creative energy, okay? Um, it's almost like when you're alone, you're almost able to access it even more powerfully. And that is, I mean, honestly, that's interesting with Aries being on your 8th house, because it's like the 8th house is an extremely intimate and private house. That is not something that is seen by the outside world unless you go to someone like a psychologist or whatever. It's where you bond deeply with another person and merge on a soul level with another person. So having Aries there is really sexual. Like, wow, that's intense. That's literally this. It's like in private, that's when you can be a different version of yourself that the public never gets to see. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. Okay, so anyway, interesting the themes, Shannon says. It's been a search for true self, complete independence, but now how do I fit into the rest of the world? Dude, real, for real. Yeah. The reintegration process is interesting, isn't it? Queenie Wands is my main bitch witch. Word. Yep. So anyway, I love that the Six of Swords came out with these two energies, because you're trying to seek balance between these two things, right? Your own pleasure and another's pleasure. That could be 2nd and 8th house axis. But anyway. Oh man. Just blame Putin. Just fuck you, Russia. Like what? Anyway, Virgo. I like these cards. I think that this week you're going to be able to find a better sense of balance between these two needs, right? The inner need and the outer need. The intimate needs and the physical, I guess the intimate needs are kind of physical in nature, aren't they? But I mean, your physical body needs that are not specifically pleasure related, but also you need to feel inspired and fired up. You're going to be balancing taking a leadership role with self-care, right? In fact, how can your own self-care help you be a better leader? Yeah. That's what I got for you guys. Okay, Leo. Leo. You know, Shannon, I found myself trying to talk to like normal people and realizing I had no fucking idea how to talk to normal people. And I was like, okay, how do I like make small talk again? I don't remember. And I'm still trying to figure it out. But I started thinking about, well, what did I like before? What did I do before? What did I like before? That's quote unquote normal. Art. I liked art. So I don't know. I feel like every artist probably goes through this at some point where it's like, how do I do what brings me passion? How do I express myself artistically, and still like talk to normal people? And I think that we can communicate so much through our art and through the works that we do. Yeah, play, exactly. Art is play for me. And yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. I went and I started playing. And it was like, oh yeah, this is really fun. Like playing with swords. I was like, oh fuck yeah, I could talk about swords all day. So but I still really struggle. Like talking to fucking normal people. But as soon as I bring up art or play or something that I do, that actually I'm very open now about the tarot and the astrology. Sorry, I got distracted. As I'm getting more open, but also as I'm like talking about the art side of what I do, or like the things that I do to play, it's so much easier because like it opens them up even faster than small talk ever would. So anyway, just putting that out there for you guys. Pro tip: just talk about art. Okay, Leo. Alrighty, so Leo, for you guys, the Libra full moon is in your third house. So this is lighting up your third and ninth house axis. So with the full moon in the third house often has to do with our neighborhood, our neighbors, our siblings, literally our brothers and sisters. It has to do with like literally the like the block that's like around your house, that's really what we're talking about with the third house. It can also be tools, skills, things that you learn. Your style of communication can be seen. There's actually, honestly, there's a fucking lot that can be seen in the third house. But anyway, with the full moon in the third, this is like you're learning something new. You're learning a new skill, or you're honing a new skill. Maybe you're actually, since it's a full moon, instead of beginning to learn a new skill, there's a skill that you have been working on. That's like now you're almost at a point where maybe it's not perfected, but it's definitely improved significantly. That's always a good thing. It's always a nice thing. It's always lovely. Now, with all of this stuff going on in the ninth house, this is an example, PK, if you're listening, this is an example of the house that the sun rejoices in. So the sun rejoices in the ninth house. Ninth house has a lot to do with our belief structures, has a lot to do with our teachers, our gurus, our higher education. So the difference in like learning with the third and the ninth house is like the initiatory instructions. So like when we're just learning our ABCs and learning how to put sentences together, and the ninth house is like writing essays. Right? You see the difference? The third house is we're learning how to do the thing, and the ninth house we're expanding on knowledge. So just as an example. So anyway, Leo, your focus has been heavily for the last month has been on publishing and learning, expanding your knowledge, really getting into some kind of divination system, or learning some really intense religious scriptures or something along those lines, or some really some potent you've had some potent university courses or something like that. The full moon is just reminding you to take a different perspective look at that stuff too, and remember to keep the mind of a beginner whenever possible. I said this for Aquarius, and I think it's appropriate to repeat it here. oftentimes the student teaches the teacher and the teacher becomes the student. There's always something that you can learn from everybody that you meet. So in all of your studies and all of your learning, never forget that, right? Never forget that there's always something that somebody unexpected can point out to you. It's like, oh, hey, that's a really beautiful point. I love that you made that point. That actually brings balance to some of the things that I was looking at and reading from before. So that's freaking awesome. Remember to listen, right? Remember to listen and communicate your thoughts with people. Oh, this is true, but it's because I put on a good face. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I still don't know how to talk to people, okay? They might be all like, ooh, shiny, but I'm still like, that's a nice sky we have, isn't it? Oh, God. Okay. How about that sports ball? Okay, Leo. Whoa. That's a lot of cards, dude. 3rd, 9th axis. Oh, I love this for you, Leo. This is fun. Okay. So, I like it when the sports ball touches the sky. Right? Yeah. Good times. Okay, Leo. So you got the Page of Cups. The Queen of Wands is out again. Sexy beast. She will not be put away. That's basically that Aries energy being like, hey, still important. Don't forget about me. Like, how could you forget about the Queen of Wands? You can't. That's the answer. And then the Magician. Just blame it on the astrology. Jenny, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Oh my gosh. Okay, so anyway, Leo. I love the Page of Cups. That's cute. He's cute. Okay? This is if this is referring to a person in your life, if this isn't you, okay? Because Leo, let's be honest, that's you. Okay? That's you. So this Page of Cups could be somebody like literally a child or literally a student, perhaps even, that you're working with, somebody that you're teaching something to. And perhaps you're teaching them, and perhaps actually he looks as sassy as your 5-year-old. Facts. She is okay, you are the mom, all right? So like, whose fault is that? Just putting that out there, but she's just so much attitude and such a little body. I don't get it. Okay, so anyway, Leo, somebody that you're dealing with, somebody that you're working with, either as in a student-teacher type relationship or whatever the case may be, they're a very sensitive individual. Okay, they're yeah, I've been an auntie for 18 years now. Oh my God. Okay, so anyway, this individual is very sensitive. They have a very sensitive soul. If you are too harsh of a teacher with them, they might crumple, right? They might be like, that's scary. You're scaring me. They might not actually be like that, but internally, that could actually legitimately be going on. And you're showing up as this like fiery, sexy, fucking passionate leadership woman. I can't even I can't think of any more words for her right now, but be mindful of the very powerful impact that you have on people. Okay. Oh my God. I'm 5, so I could do whatever I want. Oh, really? This child, I tell you, oh man, fucking children are your karma. Just putting that out there. It's a good question, Shannon. I have no idea. So anyway, Leo, be mindful of the incredibly powerful impact that you have on people. You're the main character, okay? You're a very solar being. You're very bright. You shine very brightly. You have a major impact on people, and you probably aren't even fully aware of that impact 100%. So just be mindful when you're teaching somebody, especially if they're a little bit more sensitive. Um, you know, allow them some grace, allow them some grace. And then you have the magician coming out, and I love this. The magician is confidence. It's building skills. It's honing skills. It's matching the inner and the outer, the above and the below. And right now we're dealing with some fire and some water energy. We're missing the air and we're missing the earth. So perhaps what this Libra moon is asking you to do is to get grounded and communicate. It's like, yeah, I'm queen of the fucking mountain. Queen of the mountain. Okay, so anyway. Oh, Leo. Be grounded. Make sure you're communicating. And also, actually, you know what's kind of really cute about this transit here? You know what's really cute about this, actually? There's something really sensitive about the moon. Okay. The moon also, by the way, the moon rejoices in the third house. This is actually a really kind of a badass transit, actually, for Leo rising specifically. The sun and the moon are in their the houses that they rejoice in. The third house in Hellenistic astrology is called the house of the goddess, because the moon rejoices there. The ninth house is called the house of God, because the sun rejoices there. God and goddess. So anyway, there's something really sensitive that you need to communicate, or someone that you need to communicate with, perhaps a younger sibling, actually, that needs to hear some words of advice from you, quite literally. And be mindful of the impact that you'll have on them. It doesn't have to be a sibling. It could be someone in your neighborhood. It can be a very close friend. We all have those friends that are more like siblings than friends. It's like, we're born from different families, but you are my sister, right? So, yeah, just keep that in mind. And you're going to have a huge impact. And there's something that you're going to say or do that's going to have a huge fucking impact and send somebody on their own journey, really. So make sure this week in your communications, especially, that you're staying grounded, and that you are, be your usual top hopping self. Okay. I would never tell you to not do that. Okay, Leo, that's what you do best. So do that. But remember that there are other people around you that don't feel the same way all of the time. And that's okay. Their experience is valid too. So give them some grace. Oh. It's more like you like to express your femininity in a flamboyant way. And you do have fucking rainbow heart-shaped sunglasses, so tell me I'm wrong. Word. Oh, Venus and Leo. I love Venus and Leo. One of my sisters is a professional ballroom dancer. She doesn't do it anymore, but she has Venus in Leo. She literally enjoys competition, uh, dancing around in fancy fucking dresses, doing the fucking salsa. Fuck, she's a wonderful lady. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's 10:15, you guys. This is why I'm switching this to noon. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, Cancer. All right, Cancer. We finally made it to Cancer. 3 hours and 15 minutes in. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. All y'all who have hung around from the beginning, anybody that's new, even those of you that just like pop in for your sign and pop back out again. I appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate you. Okay, where are the jorts? Bell bottoms and all. Hell yeah, girl. Fuck, you rock those bell bottoms. All right, so Cancer, especially Cancer rising. So full moon in the 4th house. Kablamo. All right, so 4th, 10th house axis. This is home, family, ancestry, your roots, and this is where you're reaching. So Aries season is a really important season for you, Cancer, for your work, right? Like literally you've been focused and trying to figure out like, hey, what exactly is my path here that I want to take? And putting a lot of effort in there. Jupiter has been expanding this area for the last little while, okay? And all of the seeds that you're planting, I mean literally and figuratively, as far as your career goes, are bound to grow, okay? They're bound to expand. Now, it's important that you're also paying attention to what's going on at home, right? So the 4th house can literally be talking about mom and dad. It can literally be talking about your ancestry, or it can literally be talking about the things that you bury that you don't want to acknowledge. So 4th house is a fairly psychological house, actually. It's interesting, okay? So the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th are all considered hidden things. The 12th, is like stuff that you don't know that you don't know. The 8th is like, you don't know, but you're going to find out. Yeah, and you keep it hidden. It's secret. And then the 4th house is, and you're not going to acknowledge it because fuck that. Because it's painful, right? Like we were just talking in the chat. We're just talking about the precious age of 5. So my niece just turned 5 on the 22nd. She's a 322 baby. And just a little sassy pants. But Mel made an excellent point. Mel said that is an age when innocence can be easily crushed. I think that's really important. That's a really important thing to note and to take with us here. But anyway, childhood traumas, right? Childhood traumas is stuff that can come up when any of these hidden houses are activated, really. But when we're dealing with being a mother or being a father, and even just contemplating that, or starting a new relationship where that stuff is possible, or you actually are a mom or you actually are a dad, all of your own childhood wounding comes up to the surface, whether you like it or not. And the 4th and 10th house axis definitely has to do with mom and dad. As much as it has to do with work and home, it's also mom and dad. So this full moon could quite literally be bringing up stuff about how you feel about being a mom, especially with it being moon, right? Cancer, you're ruled by the moon. The moon is your ruling planet. It's literally you. So this is you needing to dig deep into your, what are you burying right now that needs to be brought to the surface, that needs to be talked about or expressed or felt. Actually, it's less about talking and more about feeling with the moon. Just split the deck and there's the Chariot. Badass. So feel into it, right? And if that means that you need to cry about it, then cry about it. If that means that you need to talk about it with a loved one, then talk about it with a loved one. But really, a full moon in the fourth, like it can be really simple and innocent, and it's just like, oh, okay, I need to adjust my like work home schedule balance, right? Like how Capricorn needed to do that. And maybe you need to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on at home rather than all of the craziness that is work or has been work. It could be as simple as that, or it could be a lot more visceral and psychological, and like maybe you need to like maybe there's some healing that needs to occur in your family ancestral line, and that's actually what's coming up for you to work with. So if it is, be grateful, right? That's that's really important work, right? It's really important work. And also remember that any healing that you do now, you are healing your ancestors and you're healing for future generations. Okay? It's like literally you're healing your ancestors when you heal. Okay? Okay. That's what we do as cancers. Cry about it. Word. Unless you've got like, never mind. Some cancers don't cry about it though, but they need to. You know what I mean? I think everybody does, but yeah. Sometimes vulnerability, this has come up before. I think this is a Mars and Cancer thing. Sometimes, but I'm on the fence. so yeah, vulnerability is scary. But I said earlier in the stream, and I'll fucking, this is why this goes to 3 hours, is because I repeat myself a billion times. Sometimes, you know, we don't want to be vulnerable because we want to put on a brave face. Oh, yo, do you have issues with your neck? Just curious. Okay, so anyway, our throat chakra stuff. Okay, so anyways, sometimes we want to put on a brave face thinking that that's like the better thing to do to be confident, but actually in reality we'll be connected more or feel more connected, and people will relate to us better if we are able to be vulnerable. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, dude, for real. Okay, so anyway, Cancer. Whoa. Fourth, 10th axis. We got the friggin' 5 of Wands. Or 5 of Swords, sorry. Oh, yo. That's a thing. Yeah, I'm beginning to suspect that I either had ancestors that were hung, or I was hung in a past life. Anyway. They were dumb. PK asks what they do, and he says they were dumb. Fair. Okay, Cancer. So you got 4 cards. We got the 5 of Swords, immediately followed by the 2 of Swords. And then the 4 of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. So let's talk about this 5 of Swords, okay? So this is representing some kind of conversation that's going down, all right? And this is being literally on the fence, not knowing what to do about it. Or alternatively, not knowing if you should even have that conversation at all, right? Like feeling like, yeah, the 5, I know, right? The 5, exactly. After I was just talking about the 5-year-old. Okay, so anyway, God, let's start with the Two of Wands or the Two of Swords. Oh my God, I'm getting tired. I gotta, I gotta wrap this up. The Two of Swords. We're starting there, okay? The Two of Swords is like literally being on the fence, needing to make a decision, not being sure which decision is going to be fair or equitable or equal or the right decision, right? It's like you're at a fork. You have to choose one path. Sitting on the fence is actually a very dangerous place to be in because you are more easily pushed and influenced in either way. You need to make a decision ultimately. Sorry, Cancer. You gotta make a choice. It's kind of like on one hand, we've got tough conversation, possibly somebody walking away and being the bigger man, or woman, whatever. See you, Andy. Oh, damn. Was that your card that you pulled today, Mel? That's wild. Interesting. Anyway. Now, with the Five of Swords, I will say this, okay? Being rejected. Being in that position where maybe something that you have to say is not accepted by the other party or by the group. What's the worst case scenario? Seriously, what's the worst case? What is the absolute worst case scenario? How would you deal with that if it happened? Right? How would you deal with that? In addition to that, is it not better to live authentically and to be honest and true rather than sit with something and hold on to it, even if it's going to make you sick? I don't usually read the Four of Pentacles like this, but in this case, yeah, I'm gonna. The Four of Pentacles in this case is literally feeling something physically because you're holding on to it so tight, holding on to something that you need to speak about, something that you need to talk about, something that you have to express. This can literally cause illnesses in your freaking physical body, whether you just become run down, and then you get sick because stress and lack of sleep, etc., or whether it's like, I don't know, manifesting in some other physical way. Be careful about this. It's really important that you express yourself. And then what I see actually right after that, the fourth card that came out for you, Cancer, is the Knight of Cups. This is you. Yeah, panic attacks, motherfucker. Yeah, motherfucker. Sorry, this is my sister. I'm allowed to swear at her. Yeah, dude, panic attacks. That is a physical manifestation of stuff that you need to express. That is a telltale sign for me that something else is going on that you're not addressing. And not addressing it literally leads to illness. And the thing that needs to happen is a difficult conversation that's going to cause change. It's going to cause some shakeups, and somebody's going to walk away. Whether they walk away forever, that's a totally different story. But anyway, once you've expressed this, also, hey, Rachel, love you, girl. While after you've expressed this, and actually, literally, I just sighed and released a bunch of energy. Once you express this, once you let go of whatever it is you're holding on to, that you're holding deep close to your heart, and literally I'm getting a serious pain in my back, lower ribs on the right side. Once you express this and the energy is allowed to flow, that kind of physical shit's going to ease off, okay? This stuff that we bury deep into the fourth house, think about it this way, okay? Compare it to a tree, right? The root versus the reach. The top of the tree is your 10th house. The bottom of the tree is the roots. What happens when the roots are not healthy? What happens? A tree can't take nutrients, can it? If the roots are rotting, the tree is rotting, right? So burying stuff in the fourth house that needs to be expressed, that needs to be brought up, that needs to be talked about is number one way that you're going to make the tree fall down. So if you want that Jupiter in the 10th house to be really fruitful, if you want your career to be really fruitful, you have to be dealing with what's going on at home. You have to deal with the root. You have to get to the root of the issue. Literally. And for some of you, that means quite literally you're going to be going through ancestral shit and working through it. For some of you, that means that you're going to need to cry it out. For some of you, that means that you're going to need to have a difficult conversation and get off the fucking fence and talk about it and make a decision already, because sitting on the fence will make you sick. And remember, with the archetype of Libra, okay, so yes, I'm talking to Cancer right now, but we're talking about the Libra house. The Libra house is the 4th house for Cancer. With the Libra archetype, boundaries are so fucking important. So being able to say no at home, Cancer, are you able to say no when you're at home? Are you able to say no to your family if you need to say no? Are you able to say no to work if you need to say no to work? This is something that I want you to think about and learn how to use that word. Add it to your vocabulary. No. Okay, Cancer? Especially Cancer, okay? Okay, fuck. Seriously, guys. Also, panic attacks could Mars in your sign could be influencing that a little bit as well. That's definitely a thing. Yeah, that could definitely exasperate something that's already going on for sure. But anyway, fuck, what was I going to say? Right, Cancer. Because you guys are so psychically and energetically sensitive, you pick up everybody else's stuff. So it's extra important that you develop a healthy sense of boundaries at home, with your partner. That's why you have Capricorn on the 7th house. Like literally in every area of life, you need to develop boundaries, psychic, energetic, and physical boundaries. Because you're so sensitive, you literally soak up and reflect everybody else's energy. So that's important. Okay. Anyway. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's awesome. Heck yeah. What a beautiful way. Yes, what a beautiful way to move some of that energy. I love that. Heck yes. Yes. Okay. Love you, Cancer. Yeah, wise words. Stacy is a lot of Cancer, and that is some serious words of wisdom for everybody that is psychically sensitive. Not everything that you feel is actually yours. Like a lot of the times while I'm reading for someone, I will get like different sensations in my body. Some of them are me, some of them are not me. Okay, so anyway, Gemini. Gemini, what do we got going on for you? No, maybe from your perspective, but you learned it, right? You learned it. I'm still working on that one, honestly, to be honest. Yep. Okay. All right. Sorry, adjusting a little bit. Okay, Gemini. So, Gemini, for you guys, full moon is in the 5th house. That's a fun one. 5th house is love, pleasure, fun, joy, sex, gambling, games, children, creativity. I love listing off the 5th house. It's the most fun. It's probably one of the easiest houses for me to talk about. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, we can talk about the 5th house. So anyway, for you guys, full moon in the 5th house, literally you're either working with children on this full moon, or you're working with a hobby that you have that you consider to be your child, like a small business or some shit, pardon me, something like that. One day I'll stop swearing. It's not today. That day is not today. Now the balance here that needs to the balance that you need to strike here really is just actually bringing it back to your art. Okay. So there's been a lot of focus on your 11th house, which is like networking, the rewards you get from the efforts that you put into work, right? Literally like promotions, bonus checks, shit like that. That's 11th house stuff. Your longer term hopes and wishes and dreams. That's the 11th house. A lot of energy has been in there, which is great. It's fantastic. Don't lose sight of the fun stuff that you really like to do, that really lights you up, that brings out your inner child. Do that too. That's really important too. It's just as important as this longer term goal stuff. Okay? So word. Maybe you need to, right, Jenny? Maybe you need to. The I mean, tomorrow isn't the full moon, but it's close enough. You know what I mean? It's close enough. It's technically Wednesday, but holding my deck upside down. As long as it's like balanced, you know what I mean? I mean, playing hooky is kind of like just automatically. I just want to say don't do it, but but then at the same time, maybe that's what you need. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, if it's ridiculous, then say no. Boundaries, girl. Yeah, Jolene. Fuck yeah, you are. Yes. Okay, Gemini, one more card. Whoop, that one. Ooh, I like it. Oh, Gemini. Ooh, that's exciting. Okay. We got the Page of Swords. Very Gemini energy. Very Gemini energy. Hold up. Okay, Gemini, this is you going back and forth on something. Should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I work, should I go play, should I work, should I go play, should I work, play, work, play, work, play, work, play. That's you literally right now in the chat. It just happened. It literally fucking just happened. It literally just happened. Okay. Tarot was telling you to go play. Ow, I just got a weird pain. Oh, ow, right in the heart chakra. What the fuck? A Gemini with division of self? Yeah, I know. Gemini, I'm here to remind you that you will always have abundance, okay? You'll you'll always have abundance, all right? And right now, I feel like you should be in the energy of play. Okay, you got the Ace of Wands and the freaking Empress. You are abundant. You are attracting the opportunities to you all of the time. And you never know. Maybe you might be so lucky as when you go you might be so lucky that when you go to play, all of a sudden there's a new opportunity for you that can maybe replace or supplement or assist you in some way that was surprising and you didn't even realize and you wouldn't have known if you didn't go. But of course, yeah, there's the Ace of Wands. It's like, boom, seize the opportunity. Go play. Go top hop. Go. I can't believe I'm giving this as advice. Go top hop. There's the Fool. Go do it. Go have fun. Go play. Be unburdened for a little bit. Seize the day. Carpe diem. Be carefree for a day. I know Gemini doesn't really have a problem playing. They are very good at play. Right? Like Mercury is the trickster archetype. It's It's perfect. But anyway, Jenny, this is your permission. I'm personally giving you permission. The cards are saying go play. And for any other Geminis out there that are in this energy of like, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I? Go do the fun thing, okay? Go do the fun thing. We're about to head into eclipse season, okay? Um this Aries Libra axis is about striking balance, right? And if there's something that you've been doing and there's another option that's calling to you that's going to help bring balance, then do that thing, okay? Especially if it's fun. Yeah, hall pass. No, it's not a Canadian thing. It's a chance. Top hop is not a Canadian thing. It's a chance thing. Go play with no pants. Yeah. Yep. Oh man, my internet. No. Oh my gosh. Okay, Taurus. We gotta motor through these last couple signs because my internet is now acting up. So that's not good. Hopefully I'm still here. Hopefully you guys are still there. Moving on to Taurus. I'm gonna just hang out for here for a sec. Internet, don't do this to me now. Internet. No. Weird. It's showing me there. Weird. Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird. It's like, it's not connected on my end, but it's connected on your guys' end. How does that even work? Okay, well, anyway, I lost my chart. It's not. How the fuck? Oh my god. Well, I think that since this is glitching out like crazy right now, I'm going to call it a night and do Taurus and Aries tomorrow. So I think that's what we're going to do. Because literally, I cannot load anything right now. It's not working. I can load it on my phone, but I have data, right? I wonder if I should just hotspot. My gosh. I mean, I could just hotspot it. Data resets tomorrow. I have enough data, I could do that. I can see the chat on my phone. But that's it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm coming in tomorrow. I'll be live to finish Aries and Taurus tomorrow. Probably around noon Mountain Time. I think that would be a good time. And yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Yeah, sorry that I wasn't able to finish, but seriously, none of my other pages will load properly. The comments won't load right now, and I'm sharing internet with a bunch of other people, so that would do it. So that's another reason why we're moving Moonday Tarot to noon. So I'm not competing with anybody in the house for internet. Okay, love you guys. Appreciate you very much. Thanks for hanging out. Again, Aries and Taurus will be tomorrow. And yeah, have a lovely night. And I hope you guys enjoy the new moon. Take advantage of the beautiful healing energy of Chiron being involved. And remember to always seek balance and harmony, but never true balance and true harmony. It starts with knowing your worth and meeting your own needs as well, being your own individual. Okay, that's all I got to say. Peace. Love you guys. See you later. Bye. Fuck.